All right, what's going on, Conscious Crew? I told you guys we were going to be restarting the live, so hopefully, I don't know if notifications are going out. I know it's super early. Happy Sunday. We're going to pick up where we left off at in that commentary that was not supposed to be 8 hours long. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I am despising long form content, okay? Because I felt like I was doing so good with like my short medium forum content, okay? And now, baby, the old version of the Consciouztv platform is back in action. But I want to chop this up simply due to the subject nature, okay, itself. But damn sure ain't gonna be no 8 hour long ass hot topics, but certain conversations, because of the nature of those dialogues and everything, they lead to a level of dialogue that, you know, can play out until the second coming of Jesus shy. So I hope y'all enjoying it, child. If y'all be needing something to put on while you're commuting to work, or while you're at work, or while you're doing things around the house, then these are certainly live streams that you can indulge in, honey, and get all the things. So before we get into it, you guys already know what I need y'all to do. Go ahead and run the likes all the way up. Thumbing up the video not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the sanctuary, because the king is what? Can gain. If you enjoy all the things, okay, because nobody does it like CTV, and you ain't getting long form ass IRL content nowhere else on YouTube but right here. You enjoy all of that. You can also appreciate and show love to the king on Cash App, $Consciouztv, and or PayPal.me/Consciouztv. All donation information and social media handles are in the description box below, as well as scrolling from right to left and red and white at the bottom of the screen. And my beautiful moderators also do their fair share of circulating and percolating all of the handles. Make sure that you have your notification bell set to all. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your MySpace, Dark Side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you, in fact, let the link. Set them whores on the real out. We're live, and we're certainly in color. But no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Happy Sunday and Grand Rising Conscious Crew, child. We finna get into another riveting episode. We're going to pick up where we left off at. For those of you who don't know where we left off at, we had a 2-tier topic in last live. We started off with talking about a content creator by the name of Nene, who is a Black female influencer, and she pretty much was calling out women for discriminating against dating bisexual men. Because, you know, a lot of women, you know, will vocalize that they do not want to date a bisexual man, okay? That if a man is bisexual, that's a no-no for them. So she got into all of that. And as a result, toward the end of that live stream, one of the Conscious crew members, Deshaun, you know, had hit the panel and, you know, open up this conversation that led to me then bringing up conversion and this concept and idea of rather same-gender loving people, pansexual people, anybody who's attracted to the same sex in any capacity, if they can alter their orientation, if they can alter their sexuality, I should say, if they can alter their desire to engage in sensual and or sexual relations with members of the same sex, because despite all of the propaganda of the church over centuries, despite anti-gay movements that claim to have high success rates of converting LGBT people into, quote, normal heterosexual people, those systems have fallen short of the glory and have been exposed for not accomplishing a goddamn thing but making people want to immediately go make up for all the lost time by jumping into an orgy in a sea of same-sex bodies. My God, today. However, despite there being no evidence to support that queer people can be straight, there are still people who claim to have overcome their nature and are living a clean, homosexual free lifestyle, and are married and have a relationship to a member of the opposite sex and have children, and are completely free from the spirit of gay as hell. Okay, there are lesbians who are claiming us, there are gays who are claiming us, there are trans people and non-binary and gender, even though this is gender and orientation, people are claiming all type of successes by way of living for the Lord. Well, we're going to get into an interesting story that came across my desk last week. Before I get into the details of that, I'm going to bring up my fellow Conscious crew members as well as panelists from the last panel to hold this conversation with us. I want to welcome IG to the platform. Hi, IG.
Hey, what's that in Conscious? What's that in Conscious crew?
Who is headed or getting ready at some point to head to the legendary plantation, try to make that kids away.
Yes,
All
babe.
right.
I'm leaving one plantation, gonna get dressed, change uniform, and go to the next.
On period. Got to make that money. And we also have no other than legendary OG moderator, Rumors and T. Hi, Rumors.
Top of the morning, rise and shine, all that good stuff. Hey, y'all.
Motherfucking shine, baby. All right, we're also waiting on Deshaun, but he'll probably pop in. I did send him the link. So, Deshaun, if you're watching, I sent you the StreamYard link to your DMs. All right, so in theme of the subject matter that we was covering, I thought it was a great opportunity to use these two young ladies' stories as a way to explore the idea of whether LGBT people, particularly same-sex attracted individuals, can overcome their orientation. The couple that I'm about to share with you guys shared their story on YouTube. I don't know a lot about this couple. They literally randomly popped up on my homepage of YouTube last week. I was already doom scrolling. I decided to clock in, and the name of this channel is Mac and Mia. I think that Mia maybe is the young lady to the left, and maybe Mac is the young lady to the right. This is a same gender loving couple, traditional lipstick lesbian and stud. And they give a 39-minute update to their followers. They have 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think they have a heavy following on TikTok as well. And when I had scores through their channel, it seems as though they kind of built a brand around being a couple. And so this is a relationship that their followers are really invested in. And they've been together for 9 years. I did hear a child in the background, I think, of one of the live streams that I looked at last week. I don't know if that was a relative or if that's their child, or if Mia possibly has a relation, if she had a child outside of wedlock, or whether they adopted the child. I don't know. But nonetheless, they give an update. They have been broken up, I think, for about a year. This is a 10-year-long romantic relationship. They live together, cohabitate together, built a brand together. And they go into why they broke up. And it's for religious reasons. There's going to be a lot going on in this commentary. in this video, and not so much as with the commentary. The story itself is really unique and interesting, but you're going to be able to tell a lot too when it comes to body language. The viewers picked up on a lot of things in the comment section. I picked up on similar things as well. And so we're going to listen to their story about why they broke up and what they think God wants from them and how they've been doing since breaking up an almost 10-year-long relationship while still trying to be friends and living together and be good heterosexuals. Child. Okay, it's very, very interesting. StreamYard kicking people out. My God. All right, Grand Rising, everyone. Please give me a thumbs up. Of course, this is covered by no other than Fair Use. And once again, panelists, if you guys hear anything that you want to commentate on as this is playing, just let me know and I'll pause it so that you may commentate. This is Mac and Mia. We broke up after 9 years to give our life to Christ.
To give our life fully to Christ, that I just hope I make it through, because it's not
This is an intro.
Any tears, just bear with us and have grace and have mercy, because we're going through it. We're still going through the process. You get what I'm saying? So just have grace and mercy. Sam may not speak, she may not talk as much, because like I said, we're going through the action. How you say it, Sam? We're going through the emotions. Yeah, emotions. We're going through the emotions, and we still have to get through it. So give us grace, give us mercy. Okay, so y'all asked us 1,001 times, is Mac and Maya still together? I see Mac's on her journey with God. Are y'all separated? Did y'all break up? What's happening? Yes, we have broken up. Today makes a year since we broke up to give our life fully to Christ. And I'm going to tell you exactly how it happened. Backstory.
And before you do that, I want to say that I love your baby hairs, because I too am a baby hair type person. And I like my baby hairs to be outside, baby. I like there to be no mistakes about it, bitch, that I have edges. Yes, God. So shout out to the baby hairs.
No, us. Me and Sam, we've been together for 9 years. We got together in 2016, January 6th of 2016. And honestly, I feel like we were supposed to meet, right? And we were supposed to be friends. Oof. Okay, give me a second.
CPAC presents.
Can you believe they're still this picky?
Okay, they paying the bills over there. Let me see something. I can't hear. Oh, okay. That was, can you hear now, Arumas, since you're back up? Are you able to hear now?
I can hear perfectly fine. Thank you.
We were supposed to meet, and we were supposed to be friends. God placed us in each other's life for a reason. We needed each other. But we may have got a little selfish in our ways. We didn't know much about Jesus. We knew about God. We knew of him, but we didn't have no relationship with him separately. All that we knew was being gay was bad, right? But why? People made it a judging thing instead of teaching why it was bad and why we shouldn't do it. It was just more of you going to hell, you going to hell. For me, it's no, I'm not. God loves us. This is love. Why would I be going to hell? This is just how my thinking was growing up. How was your thinking growing up? About you didn't think nothing of it, being gay. Mm-hmm. We didn't think nothing of it necessarily. I just heard, I have a Jamaican family, so all I heard was you going to hell. And in my head, it's if I'm going to hell, y'all going to hell too, because y'all be lying, y'all be stealing, y'all be doing all this. And in my head, no sin is bigger than other, which is still true. No sin is bigger than the other, but each sin has different consequences and higher levels of consequences. So we got together, journey. It was a journey. Our parents didn't want us together. We still stuck it through. We always fought to be with each other, literally. Nobody could ever stop us from being together. Nobody. And one thing we always said was, if we broke up, the only way we was breaking up is if what? We still be friends. And if who was breaking us up? God. Literally, all we said was the only way we'll break up is if it's God's doing. So we was together for 9 years, and we started a YouTube channel. We got a platform, gained millions of followers, millions of supporters, known, left our hometown, moved to Houston by ourselves, no family, no nothing, and we found a church. When we found the church, they were so accepting of us. Like
And y'all know I gotta pause every now and again just to make it fair use and all of that. So you guys want all the likes up, thumbs up, share. If you're new here, subscribe. The subscribers only is always turned on. You know, so that it's a privilege to be active in the chat. And you know, all the things. If you enjoy the game, baby, show all the love. Yes, God.
They didn't make us feel less than. They didn't judge us because we were gay. They didn't make us feel bad about ourselves. They still let us do the work in the church. They let us pray. They didn't make us feel left out. They didn't make us feel bad at all.
Now, shout out to that church, because she doesn't clarify if it's an affirming church or not, and it doesn't sound like it's per se an affirming church, but it just sounds like a church that didn't press the issue on homosexuality. So really shout out for that church for this being so welcoming and just not majoring in their identity, and the fact that they came up in that bitch as a couple on top of that, and they still was just like had access to community and all the things and felt all the love. So yeah, shout out to the Texas church.
One thing I could say about the church was they did preach the word of God. They didn't make us feel like what we was doing was right either, but they didn't judge us. They accepted us in with loving arms. They took us in as their daughters. So now, to move forward, we was going to church, still together, still doing us. But it came to a point where we had different convictions. It was different. So people would ask us when I getting married, and I would ask Sam that too, like, when are you going to propose to me? Like, I wouldn't ask that, but I would like give hints, like, I want this ring, I want this type of proposal. The whole time in Sam's head, it was like, I can't.
I mean, I can.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
For me, it was just like I felt like marriage with a woman was just like pushing it, but that's all I felt. Like I still was all for the relationship, all for children, all for everything else. I never was big on marriage myself. It was kind of like I didn't care about it. But
at first you didn't. I didn't care about it.
Yeah, at first I did, but then I didn't. Like, it was just like, if you're in a relationship, if you marry, it's the same thing. So, but, yeah.
So she was feeling like that, but she never told me, right? And then I started feeling like that, and I was like, if I don't feel comfortable with asking my pastors to marry us, then something is wrong. That's the thought I had in my head when I found out about what she said, what she had going on in her head as well, but we never communicated that. So she was feeling like that for a little while. In 2024, I had this whole week where I was just crying because I felt like me and Sim was about to break up. And I just didn't want to see her with somebody else, but I knew God was tugging at me, but it was just conviction. I kind of just got past that. I ignored it. I cried for a week straight, just sad. Like, I don't want to break up with Sam. I don't want us to be separated. Got past it. Now in 2025, I started feeling that same conviction again. And I'm like, bro, I feel like I can't give my all to God because of my relationship. I feel like God was speaking to me and kind of telling me it's more for you out there, and not even relationship wise. It's more that I want to do for you. It's more that I want to give you, but you have to let go of being bound in this one sin. And when God told me to do something, I'm doing it, right? I'm doing. Stop drinking. Okay, cool. Stop doing this, cool. But when it came to my relationship, it was like, this right here is something I cherish, God. I don't want to give this up. That's how I always felt. And I would go to the altar and I'll cry and I'll pray and I'll get words. And I would kind of know he'd be talking about my relationship, but it still was like, nah, I'm in denial about it. Like, no, it can't be. Nothing is wrong with loving. Love is love. But that's me being in denial still. The day came. It was June 22nd, 2025. That's today. I was in church And I literally heard God prior to this. Me and Sam was having a conversation. Like, I feel like we're gonna break up soon. I don't know. I just feel weird. We was feeling like that, and we was kind of getting sad. But then Sam was like, "We don't know that though. We don't know when it's gonna happen." You know, just comforting me, comforting us, trying to think the best of it because we were so afraid to let that go. Now, in church on June 22nd, 2025, I heard God literally tell me now, like, you have to do it now. You have to break up now. And the word in church was like, stop playing with God. Stop playing with him. It was a conference for somebody else. It wasn't even my pastor's preaching. It was a conference. And it was like, just stop playing with God. You can't come to church and go back outside doing this and come to church again and do it again. Y'all playing with his grace, just talking and talking. And I'm getting convicted. But I'm still fighting back like, no, God, like, I cannot do this right now. I was in church losing it silently, and Sam was right next to me. Didn't know. After church service, I ran to Sam, and I was like, Sam, I think we gotta break up. And she just was like smiling. I'm like, no, I think we have to break up, but let's just see how it goes. Let's just break up and see what God does. Thinking this.
I just dropped the link for you, Deshaun. So the link is in the chat. And if there's anybody else who also wants to react to this and wants to indulge the conversation around if queer people can overcome, if you can pray the gay way, etc., you're more than welcome to hit the link too. Let me let Deshaun up. I think he's here. All right, Deshaun is here.
Dope. We said that, right? Like, let's just see what it does. If it don't work, let's just get back together. Is what I said. But after I said that, I'm like, no, like.
Okay, with hundreds of job skills you can use right away, whatever you want to do in your career, now you
paying them bills. Y'all when the lights up over her.
So what did she say? What did she?
Huh?
So summarize what she said. What did she say? So she said that she tried to get back together. She found God. God told her not to date her or something.
No. The gist of the story is that they were together for 9 years.
Okay.
They've been following together. They have a really big following. And they moved to Texas and started over, found a church. The church was pretty cool, accepting of them. Everything was going great. Then in 2024, she went through a week's worth of emotions and feeling like they were going to break up. And it kind of came out of nowhere, even though everything was going fine. And she cried for this week, but then she got over that. And then she had another episode similar to this a year later in 2025, where she was going through this week and feeling like they were going to break up. She felt like God was pulling on her and convicting her, etc. And she finally had a conversation with her girlfriend and was like, we got to break up. I think God just wanted us to break up. So she's going to get into all of that in terms of what happened after she brought that to her partner's attention.
So I went outside and I started talking to her, and I think I started crying. And like, we have to actually break up right now. Like, it has to be done now, like, immediately. And it's no getting back together. Like, it just has to be done, and this is what God said. So I was crying, and then I went to my pastor, and I told her, like, we broke up, we did it. And she was just looking at me, because I went to her prior times, like, do you think God is mad at me for this? Do you think, just asking her questions about being gay. And she would just tell me what the Bible says. She would let me know, like, God is going to do what he wants to do on his time. We're not here to judge you guys. We love you guys, but let God do the work. And that's what God was telling her. Don't force them to do anything. I'm going to do it. Let me do it. And when I do it, I'm going to do it the right way, is what God was telling her. So they never made us feel less than. So I felt comfortable going to her, telling her, like, we did it. And I would just boo crying. And I just couldn't stop crying. At that moment, Sam wasn't crying. I think she was in shock. What do you think?
It's kind of like hard to put into words. For real, I guess it was just like disbelief, or just like with everything else in life going on, it was just kind of like, I think I disassociated, if that makes sense. Like I was there, I knew what was happening, but it was like I'm not there.
Yeah.
But I had no choice but to accept it. Like I don't know.
Yeah. So I told my pastor today, just like it's gonna be okay. Like that was God. This is what He wants for you guys. You're gonna be okay, and y'all have each other. You're gonna get through it. But years ago, we kind of got a prophecy saying that no matter what happens, we're gonna be friends. Like no matter where life takes us, we're always gonna be friends. We're always gonna be best friends. We didn't know what that meant back then. We're not thinking like we're gonna break up. We was told we have a blessing tied together, but we're not thinking this. We're thinking like, yes, we want to be blessed together, relationship, but we were babies in Christ, so we're not understanding what He's saying. But He said this right here was taking place now. Y'all will always be friends. So that same day, we went out to eat with the pastor. It was for a birthday, I believe, right? It was somebody's birthday, right? Or just our church we randomly go out to eat sometimes. Yeah. Our pastors just randomly take us out sometimes, pay for our food, everything. They're just really, really good people, like the best people I've met in my entire life. Like one of the best, greatest people. They just randomly took us out to eat. It was us and like a bunch of other church members, and I was just sitting at the table, and I couldn't even function. Like I'm here, but I'm not here.
I don't think I even ate that day. I didn't. I think I left.
Yeah, you went to the car.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but towards the end.
Yeah, but before that, I was just sitting there.
Yeah, like just gone. And I'm at the table and I'm crying, but nobody knew what just happened. But my pastor, she was there comforting me. Then she was like, y'all need to come to our house. So we ended up going to our pastor's house because they knew that we were torn. They let us come to their house, and every like couple minutes, I would just start crying. I'll be okay. Then I'll just start crying. I'll be okay. Then I'll start crying. Cool, we went there, but we knew we had to face it when we got home.
I don't even really remember like much.
You like was disassociated.
I don't remember much. I just remember it being like, I think we just broke down separately, and it was like that for a while, for a really long time, and we had just moved to the house that we got. So it was
a month before.
Yeah, it was like the house didn't feel like a home. I didn't want to be there. I stayed I just wanted to be gone all the time.
Stayed outside the car, inside the car, just leaving.
I literally wouldn't stay in the house. Like I couldn't stomach stay in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was hard for a long time. That's pretty much, I don't know how else to, like, y'all can't be in my body to, know what I mean, but yeah, that's the best way I could put it.
It was very hard. I mean, hard. And mind you, we were still posting. Y'all would never know what was going on behind closed doors. We were still posting, still getting our content done when we can, but it was like, before we was filming, Polly was crying.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Yeah,
like, to even do anything was like a big ordeal.
Literally. And we was just trying to fight the devil. Like, we was trying to fight the devil because we know that we're very blessed together and separately, but we have a really big blessing together. But we was trying to fight him. He's trying to make it seem like once we lost the relationship, we lost everything. That's exactly what he was telling us. Can you agree with that?
Yeah.
He told once you lost a relationship, everything is gone. You lost everything. You should have never did this. That's what I promise you, I was telling myself I should have never did that. In my head, I'm like, okay, what happens if I don't listen? What happens if I go back? And we messed up twice.
Okay, I want to give some commentary before they go a little bit further. Dave, now, huh?
Yeah. Terry.
Go ahead, David. I was just saying that saddened me.
And it's gonna get even more. It's gonna get.
That's wild.
So, it's gonna get interesting. So we can give some of our initial responses, but I don't want us to get fully carried away until we complete the whole thing, because I want y'all to hear the whole thing out. But I want to say, well, no, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. So does anybody here so far have anything that they want to say just initially about what they're seeing so far in this situation?
I do. It's It's not the main reason, but it definitely it has me grateful that I found a partner who escaped indoctrination, my Chris, that we've been with for 17 years.
Hmm.
It makes me just so grateful that I was able to find someone who was able to let go all of man's ideals of God. Um, because I too, not to this extreme, but maybe within the first 4 years of my 17 relationship, I had those thoughts because I was still a Christian then, and I just it just definitely makes me so grateful that I was able to find love in someone who was more of a humanist than anything and saw more humanity being great than the God of man. And that's, because to me, it's just breaking my heart, not because I can hear it. I can hear the indoctrination. It's not psychosis. I could just hear what indoctrination has, done to them. And I feel more sad for them as of now more than anything because I can see an old girl. She don't really want to do this. She loves that girl so much. She's only doing it because that's her decision to do it. And I do feel that. And neither one of them really want to do it. It's just to the conversation that I'm gonna shut up. Just like orientation of sexuality, they're making a grand declaration. This grand declaration, which they believe is for God, but it's really for people. Because if it was for God, honey, you could keep it to yourself and you would just go ahead and do what you do. So, and then I'm gonna let somebody else talk. But yeah, y'all love yourselves and uh, don't let another person's ideal of God determine your life. I don't give a fuck how old they tell you how old it is and what it is. Find you somebody that is, even if they don't believe what you believe, if y'all believe this, what they believe, I will encourage you to believe something else, and I'm gonna be quiet.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just so hard to hear her speak on what she's going through because they was together for 9 years, and it's like whatever happened to her, where the changes of life happened, where God spoke and said, "Oh, you can't date her." It's really like they was together for 9 years. It's like this is crazy. This is the reason. But here's my thing for their testimony. What about the other man's testimony? I can't really. I would say the content creator's name. He's actually a Christian. He said that at first he dated a wife. He wanted to stay with. He knew he was gay, but the thing is, he stayed with a wife and had a child because he wanted to continue. But the thing is, he wanted to do it for the pastor and everything else so that he can put on a shield and add on a shield so that everyone can look up to him because that's the pastor's child, so that he can actually inherit and have another child and have a baby. And then it didn't work between him and his wife. And he was gay. I mean, and he found God and he said that, like, God, why is this happening to me? Like, why am I having these sexual urges of the same sex? And God said, I love you. I was warning you for something, like you were already who you was. He was giving him hints and stuff. He didn't really receive that. So this is really weird. And now he's a gay Christian.
My heart actually goes out in the most compassionate and empathetic way. Little Hoodie, her body language, her aura, her energy tells me that she's borderline tapped out. So I'm interested in seeing more so I can see if the body language changes.
Yeah.
I don't know how old these young people are, but it has to be such hell. See, I understand my privilege. I've never ever felt compelled or put in a box to not be able to express who I was. right? But it has to be such torment to be looking for, you know, something innate, whether it's spiritual or natural, but to be looking for something, answers, truth, knowledge, understanding, but looking forward in others rather versus looking deep within in yourself. And we know that a lot of people of all ages always look for the answer from others instead of looking inward to where the true, the real answers come from. And it's unfortunate that people have run to religious practices, and the people that are there don't tell the truth in regards to, we don't have the answers for you. The answers inside of you. Like, point them in the proper direction instead of making them feel like I have the answer. This is because I personally, okay, you said hold on. Go and play some more. Because
Okay. And I wanna
Wait,
give, huh?
I need to say this. It's like you can see, yeah, like her body language. I was about to say that too. Her body language is like she's just drained. Like you can see from where the hoodie, the girl with the hoodie, where it's like everything. I love this girl so much, and it's like I have to make this ultimate sacrifice because of what she's going through, of what she's seeing God, and it's like I love God too, but the thing is that the way my God sees what her God sees. It's kind of like we're still. Why you want to give that up for 9 years? But it's like I got to do it for her because I can tell from her body language where it's like, man, I wanted to stay together. I wanted to, build together with her for another
She's
20 years, even if it doesn't work. You
Yeah,
know what
she's
I
definitely
mean?
gonna say that. She is gonna say that. So I'm gonna let y'all hear the rest of it before we go forward. I want to say that I found it interesting that neither one of them had a relationship to the church or to Christ before they even got together. Like the church was like something that was over there. They kind of heard shit, but it wasn't really a part of their upbringing. She comes from a Jamaican family. She's heard the conversations around being gay gonna send you to hell, but that was about as much as they knew. They weren't grew up in the church circuit or anything. That's interesting that they didn't have this like heavy. They didn't have no personal convictions. Like they didn't even pay that shit any attention. So
Oh
they
no.
embark upon their relationship. Everything going well. They got a brand together, soulmates. They moved to Texas. They found a church that's affirming at that. Like the church ain't got no issues. Ain't nobody saying shit. Like open their arms to them. They able to be who they are out in the open. They ain't got to hide it. It ain't no issues. They got a supportive pastor. And life is going great, 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 great. And then boom, 2024, she goes through this week of being very emotional and distraught. This feeling that they're going to break up. Okay. She tucks that away. Then a year later, she goes to another episode like this. Like, what the fuck? I think that there is somebody powerful who was praying against them secretly. And I don't
That's what
know
I think.
the church. I don't know whether it was a group of members. I don't know if it was the pastor, because this is the thing about prayer. Prayer is spell casting. Spell casting is what prayer is. Prayer is just a Christian word for casting spells. That's why you close your eyes, you get into a meditative state, and you focus upon your point of attraction. And then the idea is that the spiritual laws will respond to those points of attraction. And I think that despite the outward kindness and acceptance that somebody was praying in their heart, or that the pastor might have been secretly praying for them to be delivered, etc. I don't know who it came from and how many people in the church it came from, but it's given craft, it's given witchcraft, because it's just interesting that everything was going just fine, and then they don't even conceive of breaking up until they get to Texas, until they find this church, until they get amongst these group of people. Somebody in that church is very seasoned in a prayer life and was able to send off some very powerful rockets of desire in their direction. And this girl, who got the long hair, I'm just gonna call her Mia. I don't know if that's her name or not, but I'm gonna call her Mia. I think she was the person out of both of them who might have been more sensitive to the psychic energy, because if it is true that she has a child, because I told her that I did see a child seemingly in the background. I heard a child in the background doing one of her morning live streams. She may have been bisexual or with a man prior, and some part of on an unconscious level, already having kind of lived that life in some capacity, might have made her more energetically susceptible to this prayer or this spell, this focus upon their relationship and them being straight and breaking up. And this is why it hit her and not per se her partner, because she was the one who was more spiritually receptive. Or it could be that because she was just spiritually receptive in general, that maybe she wanted to develop a spirituality. She wanted to just kind of start developing that part of herself, that once she became emotionally available to the spirit, that whomever was praying in spirit in this relationship and over this relationship secretly, privately, in their own chambers and their own hearts, culminated in that message being communicated to her. And now she's finding herself in spiritual warfare with this thought, because even she acknowledges that this felt completely intrusive. Like, everything was going well. Why the fuck am I like crying that we're going to break up? Like, we're not breaking up. We're not even going through anything. Like, everything is fine. Everything is good. But she's going through this whole spell. And then she finally puts it together after a week. And then a year later, this thing hits her again. It's given that, and it doesn't mean that whomever was praying was per se trying to be malicious, but they were just following through with maybe whatever their worldview is. So like, I want these young people to be free. I want these girls to have husbands. I believe that, the typical Christian belief system. So somebody probably of good intention, but nonetheless is well seasoned, baby, in spellcast, in a prayer life, very anointed, somebody who's very well trained, was able to pray in a way and focus in a way where that energy manifested in old girl, and now she's going through it and she doesn't know why. She doesn't know where this is coming from. And because the context is already the church, and the church has a stance about being gay, she's just making the logical conclusions here that this is God talking to her, and that this is God pulling her away, and now they're going through it. So I wanted to layer that, but let's get back to this video because we still got a long way to go.
Twice in the midst of that, we messed up twice, and each time I messed up, I was crying. I was crying so hard, like, dang, I messed up again. But then our pastor would call us 3 a.m, talking to us like, hey, are you guys okay? I knew you guys were up, praying for us, just pushing us, just praying for us and pushing us to just know that God has us. And
I make every guy I know take this trauma test.
Y'all want them likes up over here. Share.
It's nothing we had to worry about. We didn't lose anything, but we gained everything. It's just all she was telling us. And I'm so grateful for her. And her husband is Pastor James, Pastor Moreno, both of them. But she was really on the assignment. Like, we're calling us at like 3 a.m, because we'll be up and we'll just be crying to each other and just pushing each other and just trying to get into the word and listening to gospel, just trying to figure out how did we get here and why are we here. And kind of regretted even dating, because if we didn't date, then we wouldn't be going through this. It's just all those feelings that we were feeling, just mixed emotions. But one thing we both knew was we couldn't go back. So when I started getting weak and wanting to do something, Sam would be like, no. correct? Like, she was just like, no, we shouldn't do this. And it's not, and we hit 1 million followers. Like, let me see. June, July, August, September, October. 4 months later, we hit 1 million followers on TikTok. No, pause. We hit 900K followers on TikTok in that August. And we couldn't enjoy it. We couldn't feel nothing.
Yeah,
we didn't give a damn.
I didn't care. I didn't care about my birthday. Yeah.
They didn't give a damn. Yeah. And we still went out and enjoyed your birthday, but it still was like that feeling was there.
It was weird. I didn't even want to be there.
Mm-hmm. We hit 900K, didn't care, didn't feel anything. And that day I told God, I said, God, when we hit 1 million followers, we'll be in a much better place. I'm not saying we'll be perfect, but we'll be in a much better place to actually enjoy it and feel that blessing. When we hit 1 million followers, how did you feel?
Can I ask a question?
I was excited.
Can I ask a question?
Uh-huh.
Can people do love potions, like break up another relationship to do potions on them and then automatically have that person, let's just say her, for instance, go to the man?
You mean like an actual physical potion that you drink?
Well, not drink, like they do like chant or something, like do like some kind of
a love spell
to break them up and then have one of them date them of the opposite sex, if that works like that.
You could do breakup spells, but that doesn't mean that you can do a love spell for someone else to break up with this person to be with that person. Like, there's still a sense of, like, it's all about a person's will too.
I mean,
which is why I'm trying to my talking.
And to speak what Conscious said about someone seasoning prayer, it's funny you said that. I ran into a friend last week that I know from New Orleans, and him and his people are root workers. And this happened years ago before Katrina. I never forget it. We were out, and the boy's mama, also a shamanist, Christian shamanist, all of a sudden, the birthday boy had gotten sick, just started throwing up and shitting on himself. Then he played a voicemail for us of his mama, his auntie speaking in tongues, saying, "I come against y'all with that devil against me. I hope sin." And she was saying, "I hope that he can enjoy it. Don't let him enjoy himself in this sin. You can't stop him. Let him be miserable this day." And that boy got sick. That boy was sick. That boy was sick. And I heard it and I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so Conscious's point, it's scientifically proven, if you have two plants, the plant that you say I hate you to is going to wither. The one that you say I love you to is going to thrive.
And to expound upon that, you know, because I've been doing spiritualism work for so long, it's very easy for me to recognize it. And when they did the like when they started deducting and kind of talking about like how they were raised and how they ain't had a relationship, and then I'm like, okay, so y'all didn't really have no framework that would have compelled this conviction, and because y'all didn't give a fuck, like y'all were very liberal minded in general, and then y'all moved to this church, and even this church is affirming when y'all get there after all this time of being together, cultivating a life together, it's just weird. And I can't eliminate that church and whomever is in that church that is praying against them from possibly contributing to this, because it's just weird also how she started receiving those signals just out of nowhere. Like, she's not even in a situation where it's like, okay, well, like the pastor beating us down and, you know, constantly telling us that we need to, it's no outward pressure at all. It's no outward nothing. And yet there's this other energy that is trying to prevail against her, and she's picking that energy up, not even being able to discern where it's coming from and where it originated. And the thing they just think about, going back to what Deshaun said about spells. So the thing about any type of spell work, any type of curse work, is that curses and spells in and of themselves don't have the final say. So think of them as pressure. They are pressure, and their ability to succeed against you is is like any other pressure. It depends upon the vessel that pressure is projected upon. So if you have a strong, firm, standing wall, a certain degree of wind is not going to destroy that wall. Or if you have a strong, firm door, that physical pressure against that door is not going to be enough to open that door up. So just metaphorically speaking, depending on what your own inner sense of well-being is, the strength of your personal identity, your clarity around yourself, all these things will determine whether this metaphysical pressure will be successful. And that's why I started going into, like, I don't know what her inner world is like. I don't know how long she stayed in heterosexuality. If she had a child, like, with a man at some point, and then she moved into this relationship. I don't know whether she's straight lesbian or bisexual or what the case may be. But if there's anything in her that is not clear, then this is the space and the crevices and the openings and the windows of her soul that would allow any type of prayer work or spell work to kind of enter into the algorithm of her consciousness, and she start picking that shit up in her spirit out of nowhere. So, but yeah, a spell work or a curse or a prayer doesn't have the ability in and of itself, because to Roma's point, like, we make the final choice against all things. We consent or not consent, but nothing outside of you has the power to make your will choose something. But you can be pressured. You can be pressured, manipulated. You can be coerced into, mentally coerced into, like, I call all that a pressure. All those conditions are basically just pressure. And that pressure from whomever, obviously, like the person who sent this through prayer, etc. Like I said, they sent a very powerful wave of this, and it's probably due to their own convictions and certainty about the fact that these girls need to be heterosexual and they need to be straight. And this person who prayed this is praying consistently and powerfully and from a place of conviction. This also why, like, when I used to talk about, when I first came on my channel and we used to talk about homosexuality, sexuality, and all of that a lot, and I would say how it's funny to me that, like, a lot of LGBT kids go through a lot of turmoil when it comes to trying to come out and accept themselves. A part of that difficulty is not just obviously in a wrestling up against the theology itself and trying to unpack that and dealing with the ramifications going on with your community and your family around being queer or trans or whatever it is. But parents also oftentimes don't realize through their prayer against their own child, their prayer against their child's sexuality is also a form of spiritual warfare. And while they think the context is positive, is actually destructive, because you actually are obstructing this person from being able to find a genuine sense of clarity, because on top of all the other complicated factors that they have to maneuver through, they now have to also deal with what you're doing in the spirit to further complicate their ability to ground themselves and to ground their mental health. Because once again, prayer is a form of spell work. And when you're praying against somebody's nature, I mean, this is one of the worst predicaments that somebody can be in, because you're literally trying to stop something that's inevitable. And so you have a nature, you have an unstoppable object going up against a like what's the saying goes? Is when an unstoppable force, a immovable object. So you have the nature of a person going up against, you know, this other person's intent and prayer and pushing against, and that can be hell. Working through all of that, but people's prayers against you adds, it quantifies whatever the fuck is already going on, and you're dealing with all of that too in your inner algorithm. And like I said, I know that because religious people are under the impression that they are doing the right thing and that they're praying against the devil, they're praying against these demons, they're praying against the spirit of perversion. So of course, like, they don't actually think that they're doing anything wrong. And even if they can see the outward side effects of that, like, okay, yeah, see, my child, like, see, you confused because it's your conviction, and you know you that's God trying to convict you and dealing with you. It's like, no, bitch, you actually are cursing your kid, and your kid is fighting for their fucking life. Your relative is fighting for their fucking life through all of this spell casting in the form of praying for their soul salvation, when you're actually really spiritually killing them. And instead of enforcing your worldview, you should actually practice what the scriptures tell you to practice, which is to get the fuck out of the way, because your Bible tells you that every man and woman shall wrestle with their own soul salvation in fear and trembling. So get out of the way and let this person reconcile the world unto themselves, because trying to obstruct that under the good intentions actually has led to people taking their damn lives. It's led to people mutating and trying to cope with their internal conflict, which is not even solely based upon just their identity, but all the other unnecessary, shallow, superficial elements of dealing with that, which is the targeting and the bullying, the lack of acceptance, the witch hunt, and then on top of that, you have people praying against you in the name of God. So that obviously can take a powerful, that can have a powerful impact on a queer people already navigating a naturally complicated situation because of theology and worldview. And then you add the spiritual fucking component. I mean, it's not shocking that so many LGBT youth are a mess and are tore up and are going to need a lot of therapy to undo a lot of the harm that they have had to live through just to try to be themselves and hold on to themselves. So, but yeah, let's get back to this, because I don't want this to be another 10-hour stream either.
Like I was able to feel that more than the other one. Like, it wasn't really a drastic change, but it was enough better. It was enough to be able to be like, okay, I'm grateful. Not that I wasn't grateful for everything else, but it was a little more feeling there for me to
enjoy a little bit. Yeah, like we were actually, I feel like even if it was just for that moment, we were actually happy in that moment. Even if after the moment we, like, you know.
It was just like, wow, that's kind of just how I feel about it.
Yeah, it was like, wow, we freaking did it. A million followers is where we always wanted to be. And we got it. And I'm so grateful. I thank God. And I was really happy. I was so happy. And I appreciate that platform, because this is the reason why he gave us a platform. He knew what God knew what he was doing. He built us up so we can speak forth his word. He knows how people we are. But now let's fast forward a little bit. That was months ago. Now let's get to present day. Now, I'm much further with my feelings for God, like my relationship with God. It's like me, it's God or nothing. I do have hard days, because me and Sam still live together. We still do everything together. Sam is my best friend. Like, literally, like, she's the best friend I always wanted somebody, but could never get. And years, I always said that, Sam, I think you're my best friend. But not like saying not a relationship. I'm saying, like, we're best friends. Like, you're the best friend that I seek for people, and I never get it from people because it's you. I would say that in our relationship. Didn't know what I was saying. And now we're best friends. We still live together. We still do everything together. It's hard, though. And Sam is still having a hard time. I'm going to let her speak on her behalf. I keep speaking because I'm able to remember these things. Sam literally was out of it.
Yeah, I don't know where I was.
I vape, but I don't, like, need to vape, you know?
Ooh, what an ass.
Okay, stop going off on the babe. Stay paying them bills, honey. Y'all run the likes up. Subscribe, all of the things. Y'all see the subject. I'll drop the link so y'all can come up as well if you want to discuss the concept of can you pray the goddamn gay away? Okay.
She out of it. She can remember her feelings now, but in the past, Sam was
I don't even
out
remember
of it.
a lot of the stuff. Like some of the stuff I remember, some of the stuff I don't.
Yes. So right now, I'm much further with God, and honestly, the obedience was the best thing I've ever did because it opened up so many doors for me. I found my purpose immediately. I don't feel held back anymore. And I wasn't saying that sin was holding me back, but being bound in that sin was holding me back. If sin was holding me back, she would be here. But being bound in that sin was holding me back. And everybody's conviction is at a different time. So don't watch this video thinking that I'm judging. I'm not. But what was taking place was not right. And God finally came and told us, like, hey, this has to stop now. I want to bless you guys, but the enemy is keeping you guys bound by being in this sin. I'm more comfortable and acceptive now of what he has done. I didn't think I would be here a year later, honestly speaking. I thought I was going to be depressed, broken, lost. I really did think I lost everything. I thought that in that moment, but I really gained everything. I have seen Sam sometimes. It's just, it does make me weak sometimes because, I mean, she looked good, you know? But I think back. I'm not living for me. I'm living for God. Do not fall. Don't fall into temptation. Don't put yourself back in that. Because then the consequences that come after that, you don't know what God wants. Like, you don't know what he would do because you're being disobedient. So I just tell myself that. And I pray so hard for God to remove the feeling of homosexuality out of me. To have me not look at Sam how I used to look at her in a sexual way or a way of like, damn, like, and it sometimes, I'm being honest, y'all, it sometimes.
Yeah, but here we go again.
Have a certain
Temptation. The thing is, that's your partner.
I'm still dealing.
I gotta let like some of this kind of play out so that we really not here all day. So let me get a big chunk of this video played. And then we'll get into commentary.
Different things. I'm still going through the motions. I'm still getting through it. We're not perfect. No, we have not messed up since last year. No, we have not. We control ourselves. We're there for each other. We're able to love each other in a friendly way. If I'm crying, she's my strength. If she's crying, I'm her strength. Where I'm weak, she's strong. Where she's weak, I'm strong. So we have each other's back. That's my POV on it right now. I'm much further, and I'm so grateful for God for bringing me this far. And I'll talk more after. Go ahead.
If y'all see how I'm sitting here, you're probably like, why, y'all never really see me like that. It's because, like, I feel like I'm here, but I'm not here at the same time. Like, it's still a lot on me. I don't even know how to put it.
Be honest, Sammy. You don't have to sugarcoat anything.
No, I'm not here to sugarcoat.
Yeah,
I said I wasn't doing the video if I had to lie. I wasn't going to get on here and lie. Like, I still dress how I dress. I still
nothing's wrong with that.
I just got my hair cut. Like, I feel
there
like...
actually is something wrong with that according to your Bible, since y'all are Bible-led, because the Bible says that men should not be flaunting around in women garnish in women's clothing and vice versa. That women should not be there. So if y'all gonna do it, then do it. But of course, this be the part that Christians have the problem with doing is, and Christ tells them that in the Bible that no man can fulfill the law. That's why it had to be fulfilled with love and grace, because
because a man is never satisfied.
The law is rigid. It's not humane. It's not human. It's not meant to encompass your humanity. So the fact that Christians are out here trying to fulfill the law, which also defeats the purpose of Christ coming and fulfilling it and atoning and etc. Like, they can't even get into the proper framework of their own their own theology, even though it's sitting right there in plain sight, because there's so many false teachings on salvation and the law and where the rubber meets the road at. Like, Christianity's really tore the fuck up, and it got all of its members, most of its members, tore the fuck up and dizzy as hell. And this is a tragic receipt of just how much ideology can destroy people's lives, because people are literally revolving their lives and around a 2,500-year-old text that wasn't even meant for the culture that is even being practiced in, and then have the nerve to have a system of Christian teachers that do not have to be vetted, that there is no standard for education within the Christian community, that most pastors have not been to seminary school, have not gone to school for divinity, are not scholars, are not historians, are not any of that, are just people who felt just as called to teach as this young lady feels called to be straight, just out of thin air, out of nowhere. Girl, let me go start me a storefront, get me a business loan, and start me a church with no formal training, and got people's lives tore the hell up from left to damn right. I mean, over the top. Somebody was trying to say something.
It was me. It was me.
Oh,
it was me. It's because, and when you said that too, but I'm now that I'm looking at it, because she said, "What have I gained?" I can see there's a social power dynamic, and it's not. She presents more cis hetero. She's queer. She does not look queer. So I was trying to get part of the psychology, because for me, because I'm not an atheist, and even because I'm an atheist, when I'm looking at it, even hearing what you said, when you say true, I love you, conscious, when you like the false, but everybody, even the scholars, y'all all pick and choose what's your foundational framework, despite what it literally says, even when you read it in the context from where
that's
it's written.
because it's not supposed to be literally interpreted. And people who are educated and understand the text
but I only have to give you pushback, friend.
There is an actual proper way to understand.
But the people who, but no, friend, there are people who go to seminary, who goes to the same Bible colleges, and how it is interpreted in denominations. They are. I do agree with what you're saying, but no, it's not fair to say that the people who studied all the different theologies and have the different frameworks, it's not fair to assume that all of them did not go to seminary. No, they did. They still.
I'm not assuming. It's data. Most pastors do or have no formal training.
Yes, I know that, but here's what I'm still saying to you: the power dynamic of the ones who have the teaching and training, it still varies. It doesn't mean that they're going to come to the understanding, because I can show you, Brandon. They can't. They will study the same seminary as someone who has the understanding as you do. However, the interpretation and how they're going to pick and choose how they utilize it is going to be different. It's always different. There is no one way. And that's why I can see too, just to get on this point with her though, she has more to gain too. She has more to gain because she's serving God out loud rewards you in this life. Professing your love of God serves you here. It serves you here. So there is a reason why y'all kept saying there's not a reason. I'm like, no, there is a very much reason for her. And this is where you can see, and regardless if she was a believer or not, I'm not saying she's doing this or has this character because she's a Christian. No, I'm saying though, the political climate of what's been going on from 24 to 25, the businesses to appear, there is plenty of reasons for her. She could very well be, and to my point, I'm speculating. I'm not saying this is true. Like I said earlier, some people can very much well like to have sex, and it could be a thing for her, and she might have built a life. But if it comes down to me being able to have access, and by believing and grifting in this way, I love that ideal more than being with this woman. It happens all the time.
I mean, yeah,
It
but
happens. It happens.
we don't really see that happening here. This is still a woman who is, if for the group of people who believe that this is a grift or she may just want to return back to heterosexuality.
No, I'm not just saying it's a grip to be mean. I'm just saying it's a pressure. Still, it's just unfortunately it's a pressure that's out. It's a real pressure. Even with me not saying I believe in God, this is where God becomes real to me because the consequence of the institution and how it affects people's decisions and why it does. So that's all I'm saying too. That it, regardless of her motive is there still is a fear and a concern that on top of whatever she thinks is going to happen in the next life, nah, you're doing this now because you want it to have an effect here. She's doing this now so it can have an effect here. She said the doors that open. I'm curious because usually when people say that, it's not just the spiritual doors. They're talking about opportunities, networks. I'm gonna shut up. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's something
But I
that their
mean,
Lord, hold on, and that's something that their Lord and Savior has promised to them, because even Yahshua said that it's about right now. The church is trying to convince you that your kingdom is after. I'm trying to get you your kingdom and your things right now. You have a body for a reason. You are supposed to be experiencing the things, the joys, and the fulfillment. He said, I've come so that you may have life more abundantly. Have life more abundantly right now, not afterwards. But this goes back to what I'm talking about how the church is tore up. And this is the thing. This is a
But
huge
that's what she's
misconception about
doing. That's
Christianity
why she's
as well.
making this. But that's why she's making the decision. That's why she's making that decision, though, friend. She's trying to have
No,
the
I totally
idea.
understand that. But I mean, no, I
Yeah,
totally understand that. I mean, there is
yeah.
nobody who is making a decision without getting something back in return. That's happening across the whole board. Why
Of
people are in
course.
relationships is to get something out of it. Why people move to a different state is to get something out of it. Why people change their careers is to get something. I mean, that's all of humanity is doing that. But a misconception about Christianity as well, because there are so many dumb people who are on the forefront of Christianity, the actual educated, because Christianity, like a lot of systems, have a hierarchy. What we traditionally see when it comes to Western Christianity are just pastors, and they become sensationalized and popular, and then that becomes the reference for Christianity. But that's not where Christianity begins or ends at. There are actually intellectuals and very educated people who understand language, who come into this field to break down historical context, etc. And there are communities of actual educators and intellectuals and historians and scholars who create bodies of work to unpack scripture from top to bottom, etc. And there also are universal agreements. It's like, just like in science, science may deviate when it comes to certain topics and subjects where you have scientists can't really agree on this and that, but there's also a lot of like foundational agreement on what things also mean. The Bible,
It's the same thing with the scholars, though. They don't all agree either, though.
I'm not I'm not saying that they are. I just clarified that there are certain subjects, and there actually are. There are things that all scholars agree with. That historians agree with about what scripture mean, because these things are verifiable. The history is verifiable. The context for words is provable. These are not subjective things. Like, words have actual meaning. The culture that created
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
language still exists. Like, these
Right. Like the
things.
first East
And
king of Samaria and Asia is the reason why the Ethiopian king converted to Christianity. That was how you got Christianity in Ethiopia during the first century. You got it from the people from the southeast. But those things, I definitely don't disagree. But that doesn't necessarily. But at that same time, that doesn't mean that the interpretation and how it's meant to be used, utilized in culture and country, they still all just because they agree with certain words may mean, and that comes to conciseness, that's not the important part. The important part is how the utilitarianism is going to be used and how it's going to be institutionalized.
No, but
They
that's
don't
your
agree with
point.
it.
That's the
They don't. But that's what I'm saying. They don't. That's where the cause and effect is. I could give a damn about the scholar
I'm
part.
saying why they don't. Nobody knows that more than me. I'm saying a big reason of what's wrong with Western Christianity is because it's not led by actual educators who have a clearer understanding and a more accurate unpacking and understanding and perception of the history and the context around words versus symbolism and where this stuff actually applies to. You have American Christians who are learning from ignorant people who have no education and authority behind what they're saying. And on top of that, are applying as a result erroneously everything and applying it out of context because context exists. I don't give a damn what people say. This is why there has to be educators and are educations and institutions of learning around scripture and divinity and religion and dogma, and why we call it theology, because it can be understood. In no way, shape, or form am I saying that scholars
through a certain
hold on. In no way am I saying, because I feel like I'm doing a great job explaining. I never said that everything is agreeable upon in Christianity. That's not my point. My actual point, just to even shrink it all the way down to even this ex-lesbian couple here, is if you are going to participate in any system, I don't give a fuck if it's an African religious system, an African spirituality system, I don't care whatever type of culture, I don't care whether it's humanism, atheism, Satanism, I don't give a fuck what type of worldview you're coming from, that it's best that whatever you assign yourself to as a worldview, that you at least make the standard, at least extracting your information and learning from people who have authority behind what they're saying, because there's too much reckless disregard for actual context and history and scholarship, specifically in the Christian community, which is why there's so much confusion and so much why it's so messy and the theology isn't actually fucking clear. That's why there's 57,000 quadrillion fucking denominations in Western society, etc. And it's why you can find one Christian disagreeing with the other per block in this country. So I wish that these young ladies, and you don't have to be gay or homosexual, but just anybody, all Christian people, mostly America is made up of people who identify as Christian, that you should afford and lend your mind if you're going to be under any type of school of spirituality or metaphysics, to learning from the people who actually know what the fuck they're talking about, because your pastor 9 times out of 10 does not, is what I'm saying. I don't care. I don't have an agenda. I don't have any agenda to direct where people want to get their spirituality from. I don't have no preference for other people. I know what I believe. I know what my heart is. I'm not here to tear down Christianity as a framework. I'm not here to tear down atheism as a framework. People can go wherever the fuck they want to go. I don't care where people go. I just hope that where people go and where they lend their mind to, that they have a standard, and that standard is looking to people who have legitimate authority behind what you're willing to give your perception to. Because that there can be a massive difference in the way you experience a thing based upon the way you're taught and understand a thing to be.
Right. So if I can just interject,
Before you interject, boo, Brandon, I saw you behind the scenes. I don't know if you're still in the chat and you want to come up. I just let it tied up, but if you are wanting to come up and also participate in the dialogue, the link is in the chat for anybody. Go ahead.
good morning, everybody that's just coming to the live and up on here. So because I don't want to get into the whole Christianity debate. I do know, listening to a little bit more, I do know and recognize when dogmatic religious institutions covertly plant seeds. So when Sister Edges was talking and she was saying how the church, how they were like, kind, they allowed them to participate, et cetera, et cetera. Nobody said anything to them out of the way. But she said, when the pastor preached, there was, certain things that would say, she said she felt conviction. They preached against homosexuality. She said that. And it was in the way she tried to fix that up, in my opinion, was the first red flag. Because I know a lot of churches that are not inclusive but are welcoming, and they have their own way of converting, planting seeds to cause, instead of just downright just being outwardly homophobic or subtly homophobic. And they will use the King James Bible in their sermons to preach against it. And it doesn't have to be all, it's, like I said, covertly, not downright out with it. And that's what it sounds like. Her and Sister Home Hoodie, that's what it sounds like. They place themselves into that type of environment. I do think that there's a lot to be said about who you choose to sit under and learn from. I'm gonna let you guys know something. What Conscious was saying, into IG's point, Conscious was saying is very true. I'm a licensed ordained minister myself.
Minister?
I'll send you a screenshot of my license. I don't subscribe, although I am ordained and all of that have been in church all my life. I just don't subscribe to any spiritual practices or religious practice that will cause division, in a sense, unwarrantedly. That pushes the propaganda of prejudice. I just don't partake in that. And what's unfortunate is that I do feel like little Hoodie, Sister Hoodie right there, I feel like she is one. I'm not trying to attack neither one of them, but I do feel like she's more or less looking for spiritual guidance and not condemnation or correction. And I think when it comes to Sister Edges, it's easy for her, as IG was saying. I think for her, she definitely wants more of an acceptance. And I don't think it's a thing of if she was one of these type of people. I'm not discerning that she picked up I just want to try this out for the first time type of thing. I don't feel that energy from her. What I do feel from her, which I will be curious if she speaks on this later on, if the being with this woman was the sin and this had to be stopped, are you conflicted at all? Convicted, rather. Are you convicted by being in a relationship, period, non-marital relationship? All of the things that your religion practices and push onto you guys? Because if it's just about being gay, then that's a red flag to me.
She already said that she wants God to remove the attraction from women for her. She wants God to remove the spirit of homosexuality from her.
Right. No, I'm saying, so what does that say about heterosexuality, right? So you want to be heterosexual, but do you want to, quote unquote, within the laws, right, be married? Because I know she also was saying that that's what one of her issues was when people were asking her, when you guys going to get married? When you guys going to get married? And I'm wondering if unconsciously she adapted, this is wrong, she doesn't want to marry, because she didn't sound like she had an issue until it became a marriage thing. Until the people started questioning them when they moved to Texas about them getting married. And I feel a little deception there in her reasoning for not wanting. And I think she might be playing off of that a little bit. But I want to hear more, because there's so much I have downloaded or whatever, and I don't want to get above, and ahead of it. I want to hear what else she has to say.
I'm gonna be honest. The lipstick lesbian is giving me very much so alpha, and her girlfriend is more so the submissive partner.
Mm-hmm.
She presents in gender expression in the masculine, and probably is the masculine one sexually. I'm just assuming, but this girl seemed like she would have no problem with like standing in her truth. Like, if I wanted to be married and it's like, girl, time is ticking, and if you ain't trying to put a ring on it, I don't have no problem in this relationship and going to find me another woman, another man to get married. I don't have to co-wangle some religious narrative in order to justify what I'm ready for. Like, I've been honest about the fact that I want to be married. I've been hinting, but it sounded like she didn't press the issue on marriage because she knows that her relationship is strong and ultimately she got a good thing and probably is going to end there. They've been together for almost 10 years, for God's sakes. I probably too would not be, even if I wanted legally to be married, probably not that invested in when that comes, and probably would also hold a general expectation that obviously is going to come. Like, our whole lives are together. We got a brand together. We've been together for almost 10 years. We'll get married at some point. I prefer to get married now, but I'm in a good thing. It's whatever. It's sweet. It's whatever. But I don't see this girl like needing to hide behind anything per se. She seems like whatever she wants, she can say that. Whatever it is, she can lay it down. I watched a few of her other live streams when I had got done initially watching this video, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, she seemed real cool. She seemed real clear, because remember, y'all talking about the same person who, despite having a Jamaican family, and like she said, how homophobic they were, like, she still ain't give a damn. Like, she went and lived her life how she wanted to, despite, the consensus around homosexuality, etc. Still had a very much so public relationship, and for a very long time, this ain't like no 6-month lesbian phase. There's almost a decade of her life with one woman. I don't know what her life was before this, and if she's also dated other women before this lady, but this is giving a very this is giving a girl that I don't get the feeling that she has to play peekaboo with herself. She seems like she can stand on her shit. Long as she know what her shit is, she will understand on it, and she willing to deal with the consequences of it. I mean, even this is kind of a prime example of that. Like, this is kind of like how true she is to herself. I just like, almost 10 years in, I'm about to break my heart and my soulmate's heart by entertaining this thing that's happening to me that I think is from God. And this is about to disrupt all of our lives. It may even fuck with our brand, because we built this shit together as a couple. We have a couple's channel, for God's sakes. And yet here she is, once again, not hiding and willing to do something difficult, willing to go against the grain, just like she was going against it by living her life this way. And now she's going against it by living her life this way, or trying to live her life this way. So I can't give her credit for that because of how she moving, I feel a sense of sincerity from her. And, you know, she does talk about how even, and she kind of is touching on it already, but she's kind of talking about, I mean, because neither one of them have moved on romantically, even though they have a broken up. Like, she ain't out dating niggas. She ain't fucking. The other girl ain't fucking. Like, there's been no activity on that front whatsoever. They're just trying to figure out what this is before whatever happens. I get the sense that she's just trying to give life to just undoing the relationship. Like, that's all she know right now. Like, I don't know what the fuck is about to happen out of this, but I just know that I felt God calling me out of this relationship. That's all I know right now. That's the only step I have clarity about.
Yeah, it to me, I can see that
Yeah, but
it
I
feels
got a
like it's one.
question.
I think it's just one
If
sided too.
God is doing all this stuff,
Hello.
like God is calling her to get
Deshaun?
out of this relationship, huh?
Deshaun?
Yeah,
Can you hear IG?
I can't hear IG. I can't really hear
Dang,
him.
I can hear. I can hear. I can hear Deshaun.
Deshaun, so that you
I know you can stay because I'm about to check in right quick and do my
Okay,
post.
I'll come in and then come back out.
You ain't got to leave out because he said he
Okay.
He got to work anyway. Go ahead, IG. Is IG there? IG, you're on. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Oh,
I play some more. Play some more of the video.
Oh, I can continue?
Oh yeah. Do you have a question, a statement you said?
Yeah, I got a question. So if God is trying to tell her and to get out of the relationship, then how come God isn't warning other people that's in a relationship to get out of a toxic relationship, or let's just say the significant other can unalive them? That's what I don't understand.
But who's to say God?
I never understood that.
So when people be saying God,
it's so weird to me.
Can you hear me, Deshaun?
Yeah, just sexuality though. When it comes to, like, you know, people that are going through all this.
Can you hear rumors, Deshaun?
Nah, I can't hear rumors and tea.
Okay, so just drop down and come back in because you can't hear IG or rumors, and it's gonna be necessary that you hear everybody on the panel. So I'm gonna drop the link again.
All right,
come back up. Okay, we're gonna wait for Deshaun. Sounds like you was about to respond to whatever part he said.
Yeah, why doesn't God tell other people? When people say God spoke to me, God spoke to me, I don't know if others understand like how they interpret that. Spirit.
Deshaun? Can you hear rumors, Deshaun? You're on mute, Deshaun.
Oh yes, I can hear her now. Yeah.
I'm okay. Go ahead, rumors.
No, I was just gonna say, Deshaun, like, whoever people choose to call their Lord and Savior and all of that, right? Spirit speaks. It's a matter of are people listening? It's just like your conscience can give you, warnings and things, and people choose to ignore it. I personally myself don't subscribe to the notion of God. Well, God, if he told you, why he didn't tell me? Type of theory, because who's to say God didn't tell me and I just wasn't listening? If I'm going to go with that type of scenario, you know what I mean? But that's just to kind of like respond to what you're asking. Are you still there, Deshaun?
Meanwhile, it's just so weird because the thing is, if that's the case, why aren't we helping our community? Why aren't we stopping people from doing drugs and selling stuff to our community? Why isn't that my cousin that got shot in the freaking head? How come there was no warning for her and her boyfriend?
But that's my point.
Sexuality, though.
But that's my point, respectfully. What I'm saying is, how do you know there were no warning signs? Like, we don't know these things in head, especially like we don't know these things. But I personally believe there are always warning signs or messages, alerts, downloads, whatever you want to call it, because people are detached spiritually. We have not transcended our natural beings, tangible visions and things of that nature. And even when we do, prime example, just to make it real short, prime example, when you dream at night, right? Or whenever you fall asleep, you dream, right? And most people, unless something is jarring about the dream, it could be beautiful or it could be a nightmare. But unless something is jarring about that dream, they think nothing of it. They don't look for a message in it. They don't look for signs and wonders or anything behind it, right? But who's to say that dream did not hold a message that your deeper psyche just did not unlock?
And when it comes to like talking about the way metaphysics and supernatural and spirit and the logistics around all of that, it's not a black and white situation. I mean, it's a lot of moving parts when it comes to metaphysics. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to spirituality. So the question of why, especially the why for someone else, can be very difficult to answer because spirituality applies to each person and interacts with each person just like the wind. Like if the wind breathes across me right now, you can't tell me why or where it breathed that on my body or how much of it I felt, etc., because it's personal to my experience. So somebody from the outside attempting to ask why this, why that, why this, and why that, it could be a multitude of whatever. It could be multiple things at one time. It could be one sole thing, etc. I also think we put too much stake sometimes into quote unquote why bad things happen. Interestingly enough, a lot of spiritual literature kind of just leaves that blanketed with the fact that good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people. And the lived experience may not have a big why. I mean, we're still even trying to figure out why we're even all here. Is there any specific reason why each and every last single one of us are here? Could it be that spirit just wanted to create a bunch of creatures and did that, and humans were amongst those creatures? But then there's no other purpose beyond just the creation of humans. So each and every life just goes on however it goes on, and whatever the fuck happens kind of happens. It kind of just plays itself out. Is there specific reasons why each and every last single one of us are here? Why did all these sperms make it to the egg specifically? There's no one man who can definitively speak to any of those questions in a definitive way. I mean, who knows why anything happens? Why the fuck are you even here to begin with? Yet alone, why are you not here? Why was the life of this 5-year-old taken? Why did this natural disaster claim the lives of all these people? Why did the African gods allow the Africans to be ushered into chattel slavery? I mean, it's the why. they're all wise. People can come up with their whys, but who do you trust to speak to you and give to you an absolute why about why anything is the case? Who have you assigned that authority to?
And that, you know what, that goes back to your talking points about these young ladies. Because I do. The reason why I mentioned that I'm a licensed minister, I agree 100%. It is so easy to get a license. Like it's so like in a lot of these schools are not accredited schools, nor are these people. They're not scholars. Most they can't even teach the Bible, their own Bible. I don't know if anyone has sat in a Bible study or a Sunday school. They can't even teach. I don't care what church you go to, what denomination, how, like who. These people have not gone out beyond, even if the ones that go across seas, do their little missions and things. They are not going and studying the history of this religion that they perpetuate. They may know the basics, and what I mean about the basics, whatever they teach them in theological school, but they don't go, they're not, Christianity, as far as the religious practice, Western Christianity is nowhere near the Christians that are in other countries, because they actually go out into the world, they sit with other religious teachers, they study, they debate, they you know what I'm saying, they do the tours where they go learn, actually learn, go to the holy lands, quote unquote, and they do all of the things to get more insight, better understanding. They will actually not just speak and teach from the Bible, but they will talk to you and give you history. You don't find that in the majority of the churches in this country. So everything that
they're and I'm sorry not to call off, and the people that do that, some of them still do believe, but they don't encourage a lot of people to do that, because if you study the history, depends on your disposition. There are a lot of people who go to seminary school and they deconvert because they learn exactly how the history. I'm not saying I want that, but there's a reason why they don't encourage most people to do that. Because if they did encourage most people to do that, that demystifies it for a lot of people. You don't want a group of, you don't want the group of the masses of people that's used to control to get the origin of how it literally exists in reality, not how we feel or the whatever the scripture says. No, like when they teach you that in seminary school. So a lot of people, some of them still come out and they believe, but some people go in that and then they fade wanes or they lose it because you demystified it for them.
It's the same thing with the people who go into science. It
right
demystifies God, etc. for a lot of people, which is interesting to me because I always feel like this is the outward mechanics of how things work. So I really don't understand why even going into science, because I study science and quantum physics and quantum mechanics, and it has not, if anything, it further explains a lot of metaphysical things because it's more of a difference in semantics than it is in concept. And so it's interesting to me how people do become demystified. Even me, I've spoken on this channel about how there's a lack of historical evidence for the biblical figures, and even the so-called biblical Jesus is fan fiction. The historical Jesus, there are some vague evidences for his so-called historical existence, but there is zero evidence that the biblical Jesus exists. There's almost zero evidence of most of the notable events in the scriptures that have taken place. Sodom and Gomorrah, etc., all of the shit, the mass exodus out of Egypt, that there is profound lack thereof. That would make sense to begin with, because it doesn't appear that in the original formality of Christianity that it was ever fucking created to be a historical document about historical people to begin with. That this was an astral theological text that once again got into the hands of a lot of dumbass people, and you learn about the reality of scriptures by going to educated people. Because IG just proved my fucking point, which is exactly why people need to be under historians, etc., so that they can have a proper framework for how they want to relate to Christianity. And even after you get exposed to history, after you get exposed to all of that, you still may not necessarily not be a Christian, but the closer to the truth you have a more authentic way of being informed and deciding what this now means to you based upon the best framework that can be given about any given subject. I'm always going to encourage people to be up under educated people.
Right.
And I totally and beautiful conscious. I totally agree with you there. With you there, and that, for our banter earlier, I do get a little passionate. I'm not trying to discourage. I only bring that up though because just like from your standpoint, having a different framework perspective and seeing it through that certain perspective could help someone. Also, too, someone knowing that, well, hold on, this is how this is broken down, that might be a piece of it. But I know that's really not, that's one part of it, but that's wishful thinking because I know that's not good for practical people. It's gonna be what they experience through people, through the practical people, and you see what I'm saying. They're not going through educated people, but even so, if they too are educated, if they still get someone who decides to take it and twist it and bend it what it is, you're gonna get the effect that you want. So that's why I be so passionate about. Hey, there's the allegory, the alchemy of it, and all of that there. And there's also the physical things that we can prove and deduce as to why. Just like you said, there are zero evidence about physical Jesus. There's plenty of evidence as to how different forms of Christianity went all over the world in Islam and etc.
And see how you are able, but and you consistently prove my point because you see how you talk about what you've learned, and that's what I'm promoting. Is there is a line and stream of history that people need to be aware of. You can be informed about religion, about dogma. It's not like something that it like exists in some type of a cloud. Like there is a very much so physical component, and yes, there's a history to this. And just like even in talking about Christianity being the number one religion in the world, it's not because it's God's Trojan religion, it's because it was politicized and genocided in order to get there. The Christianity
and the militia were behind it, but don't forget about
the entire marketing and demolition plan to get Christianity to where the fuck it is. It didn't.
It was the original Project 25. It was the original Project 25.
You know what? That's a good analogy. That is a good analogy
because it did. Go ahead, sis. Because they did the same thing before they tortured and did everything to us. Please understand these Caucasoid genophenotype people were not all before Roman came. They badass over, baby. They tortured, peeled their skins back, burrowed them Europeans alive. They did every ungodly thing that they did to us to get them to convert. And they had the technology and the innovation. Go ahead, I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Okay, so I'll never forget that I was in elementary school. I remember this clearly. I was riding on the bus, and our pastor had just no, not elementary, middle school. And our pastor had just preached about homosexuality in his sermon. And in my mind, I was like, I don't understand all these people in the world, and you telling me that they're wrong. So I'm giving you as that as a context. That's how my mind works. So I have started watching like Korean dramas, dramas in China, Trinidad, not Trinidad. What's that place? I remember in a minute. Anyway, my point is, so I'm sitting there. Why I said, you know what? What is excuse me if I use the wrong words, but what is it like? What happened in China? What happened in Korea? You know, these different places as far as homosexuality. You understand? Y'all follow me so far?
Yes.
Okay. So as soon as I had that thought, a documentary on Tubi popped up, and that thing blew my mind. The history, I mean, they go all the way back to the Romans and the Greeks, and I was like, if people knew this, it wouldn't be like it is right now. I don't know, it really just like opened up my mind as far as, you know, this thing that we have in the United States about homosexuality. And another reason that was bothering me is because they continue to talk about trans athletes. They continue to talk about different things concerning homosexuality politically. And sure enough, this documentary, I mean, he goes and actually shows you the sculptures, all of this type of stuff. And I was just like, God, if people really knew how this whole thing got to where it is.
Oh,
So
I
that
think
was
I got it. I just had this idea. I think I know why they don't like homosexuality. So the thing is, the parents that say, I don't want my son to be gay, I don't want my daughter to be gay, is because they're afraid they might transition. I think that's what it is. Because
Is
transition is the top of the chain. I think that's what it is, because they're afraid that, oh my God, the next step is they're going to turn trans. And that's exactly what it is.
this
Like
country
they
was
don't care about that.
homophobia didn't originate out of a fear for transitioning. Transitioning is a fairly new thing that this country is majoring in at some point. Religion
Because they
just,
say, why you
religion just
act like it?
produces psychosis.
Yes.
And the hate is for everybody who exists in the world, whether it's people who operate outside of religious or Christian status quo. That could be sex workers. That could be anybody who's deemed as a sinner or a secularist is outside of the worldview and is witch hunted and slandered. It's homosexuals. It's unmarried women. It's couples who shack up before marriage. I mean, everybody is dog walked. I mean, it's not a. There's no humanity in the dogma, and the commercial rhetoric of the church is not just about them stumping on the head tops of homosexuals. They stump on the head tops of everybody because it's led with the intent of domination and mass conversion, and it is a religious psychosis and hysteria, and there is a deep, dark, dense spirit of narcissism, not even Christianity, but there's a deep narcissism on culture, period. Anytime you get the culture, you get then cultural norms, and then everybody who exists outside of those norms, whatever those norms are ostracized, are bullied, or etc. This narcissism shows up whenever people come to very strong, specific agreements about the way they believe things should be, and that can lead to the atrocious witch hunting and destruction of. And I mean, look at how the church swept through Europe, the dark ages of the church, the Inquisitions. I mean, look at hell, Project
The
20.
Crusades.
Look at political war.
Look at the Crusades. Look at the Crusades.
Colonization. Look at chattel slavery. Look, I mean, we have it. It's the same shit in principle, just calling itself something else. It's called dogma over here. It's called nationalism over here. It's called etc. over here. But it's the same thing in principle, which is control and domination.
And I
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I gave y'all that analogy because not analogy, but just that background of how I think, because I'm like the curious. I'm curious and conscious to tell you I'm not a pipe. I'm a Cancer. I'm a water sign. So when stuff piques my interest like that, I'm gonna go research it. So that's kind of how this all got to where it is. Because I'm like, all of these people in the world, and you telling me they're wrong. And in this documentary, they even talk about how like some of the I mean, they go back to the very beginning and talk about even trans in this documentary, that they have like the history, they have art that shows it. It's showing in art. Let me be clear. A lot of it is shown in art. So
But the thing is, homosexuality wasn't written until 1946. So when Sodom and Gomorrah came into play, the thing is, if you actually take that text, they wasn't talking about their sexuality. They were talking about greed, how they were all sleeping all together. They were actually sleeping with I think the
Debauchery.
animals or something that called the
Yes.
giants,
Was
the
debauchery.
Neraphims.
Yes. The Nephilim.
Exactly. A
Yes.
Nephilims. There it is. A Nephilims.
Yeah.
And then they were giants.
That's
And
my
that's
baby.
where and then they slept with the angels that came down. That's how they became the Nephilims. So that's how that came to
No, that's
be
not
when
quite.
that got destroyed.
That's not quite how that story went, but I get what you're saying.
Oh.
I want to welcome Fame. Hey Todd. Hey y'all.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I've always thought that the issue was that when God sent the angels down to talk to them, they tried to fornicate with the angels, and that was the final straw. And he was like, "Look, y'all got to get out of here."
Tried to fornicate and did fornicate. It was the Watchers who descended upon Mount Sinai, who chose women for themselves and wives for themselves, who procreated and produced the Nephilims. It wasn't the ravaging maniacs of Sodom and Gomorrah who had an opportunity to create with the angels.
Yeah. I know they wanted them angels, and that was it. I was like, look, y'all out of control, man. Okay.
I did read that scripture. Let me just say this.
I mean,
I got something to say.
Hold on, y'all. We gotta let some of the new panelists
Thank you.
Give them time to breathe a little bit. Go ahead, Fame, and welcome to the platform.
Hello, everyone. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. I was gonna say I got something to say about what you were saying before about the Sodom and Gomorrah and the things about the angels. God made sex, like all of our bodies are beautifully and wonderfully created, and all of the pleasure points on them, they are all noted. I just heard a video before that said as many what it was a psalm. I can't quote the psalm right now, but the point of it was it was quintillion. It was over 7.5 quintillion is the number of sand grains. And that's how many more God has more thoughts about you than that. And his thoughts are to prosper you, to bring you to a wealthy place, to bring you to good, because God is love. Now, what these people have done is they have tried to take dominion over people instead of dominion over the earth, because you can command the earth to yield her fruit to you. Do you understand, or do you not?
Okay. So,
We listening.
I'm just saying.
We listening and not judging.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to keep going. So with that being said, I just feel like there is more room to learn and like incorporate everything. Going back to again with the angels, like with the Sodom and Gomorrah, everything has like a certain place. So what I was getting to about our genitals and shit like that. When as men, if you wake up in the morning and you have a hard on, that is because of melatonin in your third eye, like sleep. When you go into like that dream place, that's what causes that to be that. So it's the more spiritual you are. What I'm getting to is the more spiritual you are, it could seem the more sexual you are, or the more like sexy you may become. because it's such a creative force and we were made in the image of the creator. So that's one of the reasons why I think that they wanted to stifle it and try to put an end on it, because to cut it off, basically castrate you, cut your nose off to spite your face, make you hate everything about yourself. And if you don't hate it, they're going to make you hate it because nobody's going to accept you for being you.
I have a question. I assume that your religious affiliation is Christian.
Oh, I wanted to get to that too.
Mhm.
Now, this is the deal. I'm not religious. Now, I grant you, because I wanted to get to that too. God had helped me with that and how I realized I wasn't religious. So there was this guy, because it's a relationship with God that I have. I had a relationship with God before I knew God is love. Like everywhere I was just, when I looked at the sky, I could see a big pool. Everywhere around me, I could see somebody. I love them. I love them. I love them. Oh goodness. Oh, that type of energy was all surrounding me before I ever got to a church. And then when I got to church, it was you a sinner, and then you that, and it was like you got to be forgiven, and you got to be forgiven, and you got to be forgiven. And I'm like, well, I really ain't done nothing to be forgiven for. But I told my mama something. This is funny. I did tell her, I said, I'm going to be saved when I get older, and I'm going to drink, and I'm going to cuss. Because I found out there's a whole big thing to that. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's the intent, because God looks on the heart and men look on the outward. And we are not to judge lest you be judged by your own judgment. I have what's the word I'm looking for? That's what it was I wanted to go back to. Like, why did we come to the whole thing about the thing? Okay, so in the name of Jesus, because I will digress forever. Well, not in a bad way, but it's a lot.
How you learned that you were not religious?
Yeah, okay, yes. Okay, so because Elegba, Eshu, that's Valdoom, Javi's pure spirit. That's that. But it's really in the name of Jesus, because Jesus is Eshu. Even if you want to go Yeshua, you still got Eshu with an H now. First, you just got ESU. Then the second time you get ESHU. And that's the trickster. That's the trick. And it's also because by faith it is done. Because there was no J that existed back then. So it had to be a faith, a belief that causes something to be. And people just basically misused it. Because for the same reason, I just feel like there's no difference between anybody else besides what they do for. If you were going to look at them as being like good or evil. And then on the same token of that, his ways is higher than my ways. I don't know shit. Even that all that I know, it's still gonna be some more to learn. Okay. And I don't want to the reason why I say I don't know shit, it's that I don't close myself off from hearing somebody else or a different perspective. Instead of me, like, because there's a time in life where how you said about being religious or like Jesus is the way and all of that, the truth and the life. And it is, because it's Eshu. He said, nope, you can't come through. What you gotta, if you're gonna go through Vadum, you got to go through a Legba. Eshu first. You got to. Ain't nobody else. And Jesus said the same thing, no man cometh to the Father but by me. The Jewish Gnostics, that's how I actually got into understanding God as being a trickster. The trickster is that you got to go down to get up. That you got to, it's shooting around the corner. You ever watch the movie Wanted where they can shoot the bullets around the corner? If you've ever seen the seed of life, I think they call it, it's like a plant with like some geometrical shapes. It bends, but it's built, it's like a 90-degree angle. So like a boomerang, when you throw something, it comes back to you. That's karma. All of that it's all relevant. It's like all happening, regardless of if you believe it or if not. And you don't have to attach any of that extra shit to it. You can just keep it very simple and just love who you love and be who you are. What I wanted to get to about the what they say in Leviticus about man should not lay with man like he lay with a woman. First of all, ain't no vagina over here. You try to fuck my ass with that short penis, ain't gonna work for me. I need something. This is gonna get explicit. I need you, first of all, because you can't come out that first part. I need you to be in there and then pull out past that second hole part. You understand what I'm saying? And still be in there and pull out and still be in there and pull out and still be. You got to be long to do that. You understand what I'm saying? You can't do that with no pussy. That's not
I
fucking
Wait,
or no vagina.
wait,
So
wait,
we
wait.
can't lay together the same way anyway. So when a dude try to come fuck you like you
Conscious.
a fucking vagina, god damn it,
Absolutely
that's the
incredible.
abomination. That's
I
the
Oh my
always
abomination.
god.
Period.
I always related to that text of "Don't lay with me the way you lay with a woman" is
Mhm.
me and missionary and doggy instead, please.
And
I
also,
think
she ain't got no dick, so we can 69 all day. And don't you spill it. You better come in a napkin or come in a mouth. But you don't want to take nobody come in your mouth because you know all kind of.
I thought it was for them. They misinterpreted it because the thing is, I now the man shall not lie with the man. They're talking about those creeps. I think I know what
Yes,
they're talking about.
yes. Oh my
They're
God,
talking
when you were talking
about
about that debauchery
children,
shit. Yes, it's like take. Yeah, thank you so much because I even looked that up.
the
I looked that up
original
in Roman.
text.
Yes, in
Well,
Roman
well,
times and shit. They
no, no,
were
y'all, hold
they.
on, hold on, stop for a second. The original text from scholars, me and Kasha was talking about that earlier, and they may disagree with me, brother. They are talking about the prostitutes of the temple, the male prostitutes of the temple, because the culture and the time of the century, not just in the Bible times that they're speaking of, there were certain customs and tribes, just like in Islam, for you to have a younger male. Just like, people
Yes.
speculate about when Jesus was out there in the wilderness and that young boy that was only
Huh?
wearing his
Huh.
turban was running away. It's one of those things during that time and those customs that temple prostitution was a thing. So,
Mhm.
for the cultural context of that's what it's referring to. Now, that's some scholars. That's not all scholars, but there are some scholars that are saying that that interpretation from the Hebrew, when you break it down and the culture, it is talking about uh, prostitutes, male prostitutes. So it's
Well,
but
I
again,
got something to say about this too. God uses the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. So people that the wise, anybody that think they got it all figured out. That's why I always be like, listen, there's more to learn. Because I could be one of the fools that professed himself to be wise and found himself to be a fool. Because God can use what we were talking about, being a prostitute, male prostitute, prostitute, period, to bring forth somebody's goodwill, and that prostitute had to be in that place because she hid some people in her home that allowed it was part of ordained plan. So, or even where we talk about like not touching the unclean thing, raven birds, which are crows, were considered unclean birds. They fed Elijah. Elijah is one of the greatest prophets. In fact, Elijah was, besides Enoch, one to go up in the chariot of flame of fire rather than dying on earth. And he was fed by an unclean bird, fed by an unclean bird. So it's again not what you do, it's how you do it. And when like God is in it, he can use everything in this whole world to make it what it's gonna be because it's already here to use. And it's all for us to really love each other. That's why the greatest commandment is to love your neighbor as yourself. The New Testament is awesome. I just saw some crazy ass video yesterday. It's on YouTube where Charlie Kirk heard some guy came up to him. Y'all can probably try to search it out, but some guy was asking him some shit, and he was a Christian nationalist, the Charlie Kirk, and he was like, "Well, I never said I was a Christian nationalist, but I'm a Christian and I'm a nationalist. Nationalist. Christian is Christ-like. For it's times I don't even step on a fucking bug because I understand that bug has the right to live. Now, if you can't have, and they motherfucking ass, not categorizing anything other than they motherfucking asses want to hold up a goddamn dog because they were fucking animals. They fucked all that shit. So they feel like they are humans. But then the human is less than a human. That's the fucked up part. The mental of that. That's where like or where you think that you could separate this human for that human. I don't even want to get into it because it's like a
Todd,
bottomless
I'm
pit.
sorry I didn't get to you. I dropped the link again for you. But going back to that point, even about man shall not lie with man. The book of Leviticus was written for the ancient Israelites and their Levite priests. But once again, these are things that your Sunday school pastor is not necessarily in the business of telling you. They're just going to, in modern day time, direct the package to dissuade the practice of same-sex behavior. So we need less
Oh my goodness.
pastors. We need more teachers and educators about all things. And I'm going to continue to stress that because these were the things that helped me to dismantle Christianity as a framework as well, was getting under the framework of what was happening historically. Who the fuck were these verses written for? When was it
that
written?
matters.
Yeah, or whose community does this apply to? What the fuck
Yes.
is the Bible? Is it an original or is it a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy? It turns out it's a copy of a copy of a copy. The oldest form of Christianity is in
Have you read the
Ethiopian,
Ethiopian Bible?
and a lot of the figures in the Bible will include in the virgin birth, etc. That these are all these are not original concepts, and that Jesus is an avatar of many other previous gods who came through a virgin lineage, had 12 disciples. Once again, all this shit was understood to be symbolic of
The zodiac.
astrology. Yes, the zodiac,
Yes.
etc. They spoke metaphysics by using human framework and human concepts and humanly personified these principles, which is where we get these figures from. But in modern day time, we literally worship these people as if they were literal, and these events as if they were literal. And this is a big part of the problem. And while you got these lesbians up here taking this 2,500-year-old text, breaking up their damn 10-year damn relationship over some made up I'm not gonna say some made up some shit that's not even what it is being presented to them as.
I just want to say I've been watching The Valley, okay, and on The Valley, if y'all keep up with that, the what's the name, Jasmine and her fiance, who's a woman, they got married, or they're getting married, and one, I think it was Lala, said like, I've been to a lot of straight weddings, and it's like, yeah, this isn't gonna last, and the divorce rate of straight people versus gay males, they're envious of that love that you have. It's, first of all, I told my mama this. I was like, you know why? Because my mama and one of my other cousins, they had issues. When I say they got issues, it's like they got like a vitriol about dick in the booty type. Like, well, if you see, first of all, the dick in my ass is the back of my dick.
Let's kind of curve some of the language so we don't get shadow banned.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Continue on.
Okay, but okay, thank you. But the point is, it's not the same. It's more so like, damn, I forgot when she said about the shadow ban thing, because I'm like, oh shit, I gotta curtail everything. You gotta bring me right back. What was I saying before I said the wrong thing? It was
you were talking about your aunt focusing on
keep going.
The peen.
Yes. Oh, penis envy. It's penis envy. They have one only when someone brings one there. And then you got one all the time and don't want to give it to them. Or like, you don't even, because this one girl told me you just want a cup of milk. You don't even want no coffee. Like, you don't want no coffee with cream and sugar. You just want a cup of milk. That shit was so fucked up. But because she was like, only thing you ever said to me was hello. I mean, but hey, good day. Like, what's you mad? Because I'm not trying to like, well, yeah, that's a, that don't mean that you ugly. Like, but it's the penis envy. It really is. It comes from that. Like, and then also, because this whole world is what I won't say this whole world, but like this society is patriarchal, whatever. So, like, you got these steeples on the church, which is a hard erect that's an obelisk, okay? That's a phallus. It's
Yeah.
all phallic. So it's all, even the sun rays are considered phallic energy. And also, the other thing that I've learned was that feminine energy was the strongest energy. So a lot of those women who are so mad, they are operating in masculine energy. They're not even operating in femininity. Because if they were, they wouldn't even have shit to say to somebody else about anything, because they know that they could bring whatever they want to them. They're operating in masculinity. It's almost like they're gay, but they wish they had a dick to penis, excuse me, to play in the game with, to who's longer, but that's the best way I can say it.
Rumors, are
So
you still
you,
there?
It's jealousy. It's a murdering spirit. They want to kill you. They want to tell you everything wrong with it. Meanwhile, these whole, excuse me, they had all these babies by this dude who is done having sex with them and having sex with other dudes too that they don't know. Okay?
yeah.
And he don't look like he doing any of that, but he's doing it. I found out because I was privy to the environment to see, oh damn, you over in that pond. Oh, okay. And privy in this pond to see, you heard that.
Okay,
Okay.
so we got to get back to the original topic and finish the
Okay.
video. Fame, are you staying with us?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, cool. Rumors, are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay, making sure. Okay, so let's get back to Mia and Mac, because we have to. Okay, here we go.
With this, also with other things. I'm good.
Okay, I just like
Also with other things, this isn't the only thing that's going on in life for me that's like overwhelming. So when this came on top of everything else I was already dealing with, it kind of sent me into like a deep like depression for a long time. And it's just kind of like on and off with that. Like, I still pray and everything. I read my Bible. I still attend church. I'm still like there, but at the same time, I'm not there. I don't really know how to put it. I guess I'm just very disassociated with the whole situation. And I always say, like, I just hope I make it through. I say that to everybody, like, that I just hope I make it through, because it's not easy, especially when you feel like, especially when I feel like, people are really judgy and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the best way I could put it. Like, I'm just here trying to make it through every day, and like just not fall into temptation, not fall into these things and stuff. So that's the best way I could put it. I mean, God has definitely carried me through. I can't discredit that part. I was really angry. I still find myself like that, where I'm like, and you're not supposed to do that, posting about that, but I'm also being real about it. I like, when it first happened, I remember I was in the car, I went outside, and I was screaming in the car by myself. I was screaming in the car, and I'm like, what was the point? Like, what was the point? I still ask that. So like, what was the whole point? Like, we could have just not met each other. And I told her that. I told you that not too long ago. I was like, I honestly wish that we just never met each other. I think that's what I said, right? Yeah, I said that because I deeply do feel like that. Like, yes, we've been a blessing to each other, but also, I guess, just the hurt and feelings and stuff that came with it was just like, we could have just, not even did any of that, especially with it being so much surrounded with it. We have supporters, we have people who, watch us, and I care about everybody's. I don't really want to let anybody down at the same time too. And like content-wise, like everybody's asking, like, where are y'all and stuff like that. So it's just like, it'd be like, damn, like we could have just pressure. Never. Yeah, it's just a lot of pressure, especially with outside things that are going on, or life. Like, this is the only thing we're dealing with. It's not the only thing I'm dealing with. I mean, it actually was like, literally, my cake was already full, and then you just put everything was already there on the cake, everything. And then when this came, it was just like, it was the fire to the candle. It wasn't the icing. It was, the cake was already made. It was just the lighter for the candle on the top to just set it off. So definitely just still struggling a lot. That's the best way I could put it.
And I'm so proud of Sam for even speaking.
I didn't want to do this.
Yeah, she didn't want to do it.
I didn't want to do it. I just was like, I don't care. Like, just get it out the way. I don't care. I don't know.
it's obedience. Sometimes obedience hurts. And
I started talking about it. You know, she would be like, "We got to do this video." She didn't bring it up that much. But
yeah, I didn't. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, you didn't like do that. But just even talking about it, I don't like talking about it. I don't like thinking about it. I don't like conversing about it. I don't like certain conversations. It's like a trigger for me because I kind of look at it like everything that I thought it was, it's not anymore. So it's like to think about certain things that you
Goodness gracious.
or expected, like children, a family, like just stuff that you pictured, and then just to have it all like erased away, like no, this never happening. I'm still
she's still going through
exactly, like I don't know what's the word for that.
And nothing is wrong with that. She's still processing it. And like I said, I may be moving faster than she is in my journey because I'm just a person where it's like I love Jesus type of person. I'll do anything for type of person. That's been me. She didn't really know much about Jesus in the past before you met me, right? Like,
yeah,
you know of him.
I heard but I didn't know all the.
But yeah, we was building together. You get what I'm saying? I helped her know about who Jesus was. So she's still going through this whole process, and nothing is wrong with that. I had to tell her, nothing is wrong with coming out here and speaking the truth. I may be much further in my
IG. I see this shit.
You know,
it's giving that she saw the potential with this girl, and she really might have never been religious, and she really got more into it because she really was into this girl. And that kind of gives me, and I'm just saying, just for based off of what she just said, she said you didn't know about Jesus, so my suspicion is correct because, and she does have more social capital and more to gain, and she's more invested in it. You can see it in the presentation, but I'm
yes.
thinking that homegirl was way more invested in wanting to get with her. Just like I ain't trying to be funny, but just like a nigga do with a girl, you heard me? I'm gonna try to get interested in the
Yes.
things that you
Yeah, like
into
they go to
to
church
get
with you.
with you. And I think she fell into the community aspect and not that's why she could have been sincere and felt like okay yes I have the community a church that affirm us and everything she might have went into it for that reason but because she said the cake everything there just to have it snatched you think you have an acceptance oh that's baby that's tough that's tough. That's a tough predicament to put somebody in and for somebody to be in. And that's what makes people think that it makes people hesitant if they're not clear of different religions to date or if they're not having the same thing because it's like well if at any moment and that was one of my fears. And I'm so glad Chris loved me. Thank you. He loved me in spite of myself when I was starting to deconstruct within the first few years of my life. And I had those type of thoughts as I was going through it. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? So the difference, and I was more of the person that was more religious than Chris was in that aspect. Chris was already more advanced and deconstructed than I was. So and I'm so grateful that I didn't take my baby through what this girl taking her through, but just the thought of the conversation of saying that. Now I'm getting to see how I looked. Um, 12, well, shit, we've been together 17 years. About 14 or 15 years ago. But yeah, bro, she was just really want to rap with that girl, and it turned out to be genuine. But she had no idea because she isn't as indoctrinated as her. She had no idea how deep that is, and that's for me. And I'm not trying to be divisive, but that's why I never was drawn to churchy guys. Because I noticed that too. It's like when you go through it, whenever you mad at homosexuality, you trying to get delivered. But when everything going your way, baby, you living your blessed life.
Yes.
You ain't giving a damn about that shit. And I'm gonna land my plane.
I was gonna say I never thought until like right now, recently, within the last, I don't know, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 might be a stretch, maybe 12. But for real, that the ending of homosexuality wasn't a thing that was going to be because you're supposed to get delivered from that. Like you weren't supposed to keep doing that. Like you go on the altar, you supposed to be praying that out. You supposed to, it's just because you was a young kid, you ain't know what you was doing. You don't know nothing. You just over here just trying to do stuff. We're gonna pray this out. It's all of that. Meaning, why I'm telling you before, I told you what I was gonna fucking do when I got older. I'm calling my shots. I already knew that I was gonna either adopt a child or have like a foster kid or some type of like it was not going to be just your normal set up male female thing. Not cutting myself off, but I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. Okay. And so I think when we have like growing up and shit, people project their fears onto you. And so like you can have fear that you're carrying or like some type of weight that you're carrying that is not even yours. And I think that's very prevalent in the homosexual community or even just LGBTQIA period. And one other thing before I forget it is back to the scripture, which I love, by the way, because all things work together for your good and everybody's supposed to be loved. So I'm bringing it right back. Like Jesus loved us too, or in the name, because he didn't, understand what I just said earlier. I ain't got to go through all of that. But there was no male nor female, nor free nor bond, for all are one in Christ. So if you love the same sex, or if you love a different sex, that's just it's too low thinking. It's like you need to think up higher. Like y'all too low minded, and I think that the shame. Oh, that's it right there too. Those aren't spirits that come to free you. Because I just heard something too. They said there's 4 spirits that come to try to steal, kill, and destroy that present themselves as God. Religious spirit is one. But if it makes you feel shame, it doesn't bring you closer to God. It doesn't make you feel like God is amazing or like the whole like you are really loved. Then that's not of God. Because with loving and kindness have I drawn you. That's another scripture. So he don't have to whoop my ass to get me to pay attention. That's some bullshit.
Well, what's interesting about that is, on a psychological level, is that most people model God and make God in the image of other human beings, including their parents. So
yeah,
a lot of people do not have an issue with God being transactional, with God being authoritarian, with God having expectations, with God having the capacity to be judgmental, because they perceive God in the same framework that they receive their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And if your parents can love you and yet put your ass out, or can have rules and can have the capacity to judge you or to abuse you or to whatever it is, then God takes on those characteristics as well. So I'm always curious what people's definitions be of things. Like, what is your definition of God? What is your definition of love? What is your definition of kindness? How are you defining these things to begin with? Because all of that is shaping whether you get, how far you get sucked into shit and not sucked into shit, and where your reason is and your ability to be logical and to be distinct in your thinking, to be compartmentalized. Because even I look at myself as a really interesting anomaly, because on one hand, I'm deeply deep off in spirituality.
Yes,
it's the fruit of the truth of my life. And on the other hand, I am deeply rational and logical, and I have common sense, and I'm interested in information in general. Like, I have all these working mechanisms, and I'm not in a position like other people are, where when all these areas become super heavy, the logic, the reason, the spirituality, where they get overstimulated and it feels like there's one thing over the other. No, I hold the capacity for all this shit. All this shit I can handle. I can put it all into framework. I know exactly where to apply every faculty of myself at. I don't have to give up this for that and that for this. All of this shit has its place, and I am intentional about my application of everything and where things need to show up at and where they don't need to show up at. So I can understand, because we are a compartmentalized people. We're having a biological experience. We're having a metaphysical experience. We're having a cultural experience.
That was it too.
Psychological experience. We're having all these experiences in one. And if you have not been nurtured the right way, I can understand how all this shit can just kind of tear you.
Yes. Okay. Conscious, you said two great things. The last one that I've been like saying yes off of is because it's like, if you haven't been raised in love and you were raised in fear, which is the opposite of love, and don't nobody give a fuck, and you got to make your own way and all of that. See, you can be raised in love and still make your own way because you're loved enough to do it, and everything you need will be there when you get there. Versus, we don't have enough. You got to be conscious of it, cognizant of it. What that does is, it, like you were saying about people making their parents their God, or like putting God in that way of seeing God as a parent in that way. It's again where it's such a different type of understanding that we can't even fathom it. So you have to like make room for it to come.
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, that comment with her saying I agree with her saying she initiated. I do see that, and I just feel that, and I'm telling you what I feel and think. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Um, I feel like that, like to your point, Conscious, you might have said that earlier. Somebody said she always had that in the back of her mind more heavily, that I'm going to get delivered from this.
Oh no, I didn't say that. That probably was somebody else.
Okay, yeah, okay, then yeah, she, now that I'm listening to her more and as we continue to play, I'm definitely standing 10 toes down on everything that I have said about Edges so far. That yeah, that there's some, and that's why you can do that. I almost felt like crying for this couple when when I was looking at Homegirl, because I thought about how could I ever even think about doing that to Chris, even though it was just 2 or 3 years in my relationship. There is no way if that was the love of my life, even with still struggling with Christianity, then now that's what I got delivered from. Fuck the deliverance. That's where the deliverance needs to happen for me.
Yes.
So it's yeah, for someone that you love, 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 love like that. Because one thing I do know, and I talk shit, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. The reason why I talk like this, but the irony is, most of my friends are spiritualistic Christians. I know from my experience that you have, most of y'all, everyone here, y- y'all have a better morality than what's in your doctrine. And from my perspective, y'all have a much more better moral compass and behavior than your God. I don't believe, just because I don't believe in people's God don't mean I don't believe in people. And I just wrote something too. And just because I've demystified spirituality and religion don't mean that the mysteries of life are now removed from me.
I know for me, I don't perceive uh like the Bible and the I Ching and all of these texts as God.
Inerrant.
I don't
Is
even
it?
look at.
You don't see it
I
as
don't even look at
you
these.
don't see it as inerrant. It's
I
not
don't even look
inerrant to
at.
me.
I don't even look at these institutions for me personally, because to your point about like the mysteries exist outside of these systems, is I think something that really helped me is the fact that my spiritual experiences began way before I could intellectualize and could really understand dogma and religion. I was just sharing on my platform, I think when Me Rumors, my homeboy D-Rock, and maybe Bubs was on when we was talking about the whole like the gift of prophecy and all that, and that's when I had picked up on Nivea and whatever was going on with her. And I was talking about how I've been having paranormal supernatural experiences since I've been a kid, before I even understood religion and those systems outside of me. That my experiences were very I was having a lot of consistent paranormal experiences and pretty dramatic paranormal experiences. So even when I started navigating religion and started navigating literature, I was carrying my experiences with me. So the system never had more control than my direct experience of what I attributed to be the divine. And that's kind of my experiences is kind of where I was able to kind of have a reference point for what the divine meant for me. And when that was strongly incongruent with any system that I was introduced to, I was able to just either relate to that system in a different way, but the systems didn't really give me my understanding of God. It was literally my own lived experiences were giving me my understanding of the ethereal, was giving my understanding of consciousness, was giving me my understanding of reality beyond the five senses, etc. But I do know that for a lot of people lacked a lot of spiritual or supernatural experiences, and they were more so introduced to God intellectually, and then whatever psychological framework they already have going on just collaborates with however religion is introduced to them. But for me,
corroborate their story.
And that's why I can tell the truth about religion. It's why I can be a man and tell the truth about men. It's why I can be gay and tell the truth about homosexuals. It's why I can be a Christian mystic and tell the fucking truth about Christianity, because my identity is not exclusively in these things. Like I consider these things to be the shallow aspects of myself. Who I am and what I am is beyond those shallow identities. And so whatever type of conversation need to be had, whether it's one about the carnage and the fuckery and foolery of it, or the beauty and the poeticness of all of this unfolding, I can go I can go all over the motherfucking chessboard. Like I'm very clear as a person.
The quick lesson and curse for me is that yes, even though homosexuality might have been one of the main things, I'm grateful that people harped on that because it made me go dig in. And then I had to realize, and then when I got to an awareness too, there were other things outside of homosexuality. And I've said this on other posts. I said, if you the type of, and y'all can take it how you want to, and I'm gonna shut up. If you a gay person or trans or lesbian, and your only issue with the Bible is what they say about homosexuality, then you are part of the problem. And I'm gonna put that over there.
I agree with that.
Oh yeah.
I'm all right. Let's get back to this because we're almost at the end of it.
You may be where you are, but you're still being obedient every day. You're not acting in temptation every day. You're not committing to sin every day. Yes, you're trying to suppress the feeling. And that's what happens. Like it doesn't, as long as we're not committing the sin at all, like that sin that we're working on right now, as long as we're not doing that, that's all that matters. Not to Sam that. It doesn't matter about your outward appearance. It's people that dress so nice that's nasty in the inside. It's your heart. And she has a heart for God. Like she's literally a person that's going after God's heart. It's hard for her. It may take her a little longer to process things, to go through things, to get through things, but nothing is wrong with that. And one thing I would say, I don't need any negative comments about that. Nothing. And let's get into the thing about also I date men right now. We're not talking about that. We're going for God. This is about Jesus. Jesus didn't break us up to bring us to a man. He broke us up so he can get to us. We need to build a relationship with him, focus on what he has for us, and whatever he has for our future is up to him.
New Samsung Galaxy Card.
You know what? I
Come
feel
through,
like that
come
bitch is
through,
lying
he
her
him, come
fucking
through,
ass
he
up.
him,
I
and
think she
come
just
through,
wanted to
he
go
him
be
and
with
his,
somebody the
come
fuck
through, he
else.
him and his, come through, he him. Isn't that ironic? You are a lesbian female couple talking of using male pronouns to describe your God, but you're telling me a man didn't cup. Let me shut the fuck up.
Hmm.
Out of the chat.
I
Let's
think
keep it
she
out of the chat.
lying.
Let's not do that.
I
I
think
think she
so.
running.
Let's
I think
continue
she's trying to
to
run
mercy.
game on her, and she
Hold
just
on,
want to
y'all.
go do
Hold on,
what the hell she want to do.
y'all.
That's why she brought up
Hold
"It's not about
on,
no
y'all.
man."
Be
But
almost.
I bet you that
Hello,
bitch gonna turn up with the next
hello,
man.
hello,
Oh, I'm sorry.
hello,
I'm sorry.
hello. We're almost at the end. Like, let's push through a little bit more.
Through with those suppressive feelings, we're still pushing through, and we want to do it together. Like it's super hard sometimes that we live together because it's like I'm trying to heal, and you in my face.
That's how I feel. I don't know if you, I don't think you feel that way.
Who?
You feel that way?
Sam, I wouldn't wake up random times crying.
Yeah, no, I'm saying now. I'm not saying
it's random. Like it's like grief. It's random moments where I'll wake up and I'm just crying. I just want to cuddle. I just want love.
Yeah.
But then I go look in my Bible and I go read how much God loves me. And I just ask him for a hug. Like, can you just give me a hug? And I tell myself, all these things, it's lust. Don't lust after things. Focus. When I start feeling very lustful or any of those feelings, I do something productive. I'll edit a video. I'll watch a sermon. Jackie Hill Perry, she's so helpful. Like I watched her a lot to just get me through it because she was a stud. And now she's married with 4 kids. She got through it. So if she can get through it, we can too. But I'm just so grateful that God allowed us to have each other still because we could have been separated, like completely. She could have been in one house. I could have been somewhere else. And we could have been without each other. I could have been not alive. She could have not been alive. Like it could have been way worse. And that's just how I think. I just thank God for his mercy and grace that we don't deserve. I thank God for his mercy and grace that we don't deserve because honestly speaking, let's be honest, none of us actually are perfect people. We don't deserve the things that he gives to us. He blessed us all these years while we're in a lesbian relationship. It wasn't the devil blessing us because I was not on his side. But also, I didn't know what I was doing. And I'm learning now. And now that I'm learning day by day, I'm starting to do things differently. You may still hear me curse, but I'm trying to be better. Sam makes you just like a tomboy, but who said you can't? Did God say she got to wear a dress?
Cool on a dress.
Like he didn't say you have to wear a dress. But she's not actively acting in her sin. She's not doing anything with the woman. She's not. And that's where it starts from obedience. So I'm going to say this to say, whatever God is telling you to do, be obedient. Because with disobedience comes destruction. And that's all I sing to Sam. And I don't have to sing to her about doing anything with the girl or anything like that. Because we're not there. We're not going to do that. But the video, she didn't want to do it. Because the internet's so judgmental.
That's why I barely talk. I don't know. I don't know.
Talk, no.
I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
Tell them how you feel. Like,
Oh goodness, she's very hurt.
Y'all know Sam a little quiet.
Oof.
I'm
not that quiet anymore.
Not anymore.
I really didn't want to hear though. Honestly, I didn't want to get on here, but
because y'all just so judgmental. But I know we're gonna have people that this will help people, and we're not doing it for us. If it was up to us, y'all would never see it again. If it was up to us, we're living for ourselves. We're gonna fall short. Please, when I say we're perfect, don't take this and be like, oh, you said this. We're not perfect. We're gonna fall short. Like I said, you may hear me curse. I may have a crop top on or something. Like, I'm not perfect, and I'm still learning every single day. But what you will not see me indulge in anymore is homosexual activities, because I'm no longer a part of that anymore. And I'm not judging anybody, but I'm no longer a part of that. And God will convict everybody on their own timing, on his own timing, and he will carry y'all through. Y'all got this, and just keep anything out of that. We're learning every day, okay? We're learning every day, we're growing every day. Is there any closing remarks you want to say? Miss Grace, we just want to post this video because we got to testify of what God has done. I'm grateful to have a relationship with God. If you don't have a relationship with God, go get you one, because only he can carry us through this life. Nothing in this world matters but our relationship with him. And I pray that we can actually come back on YouTube and stay at some point. But we just get into things, we're learning. Like a lot. Yes. Not only us that she's healing from. It's like things, like we're all human. Like I said, please just give us grace, give us mercy, and we just do this question because there's no point of hiding what God has done in our life. We're blessed. We're blessed.
We are blessed.
I need some help.
Sam is my bestie for the restie, right, Sam?
She's annoying.
Sam's my bestie for the restie. I love her down so bad.
Can't get away.
She's mad because she can't get away from me.
I be wanting to get away. Like,
but God placed us here together for a reason.
Like, sometimes I'll be so bad.
So she can be free.
What you look at me and say?
So that's why she need to go find Jesus. Now she sure fucking the dick. That bitch
God
is.
wants to be besties. He wants us to be friends. Like,
it's so annoying. It's so annoying.
She's mad because God wants to be besties. She's like, I just could never get away from you. Like, together or not. We
like,
still
damn, how we not together? You still in my face? Get out of my face.
But I be helping.
Pursuing your thrill requires clear vision.
And the lights up, we're trailing toward the end.
Yeah, we do.
But it's still annoying. So if you get it.
Right,
then I don't know, you probably confused.
Okay, I was gonna think before I talk a lot, but like I really do love Sam so much. Like
this is not the time for that. Now you're just talking. That has nothing to do with the video.
No, seriously, I love
nothing to do with this.
Shut up. I love her so much. Like Sam is like she's a headache. She's a headache.
You're not.
But I love her so much, and I feel like the devil wants us to not be friends. He wants us to be separated. He don't want us to be with each other like as a friendship. He don't want this because we are powerful together. Tell me we not.
Yeah.
We're very powerful together, and he's a hater. So he don't want us to be friends. He wants us to beef. He wants to argue. He wants to make us feel like, oh, if y'all can't date, y'all need to be around each other. No, that will not happen. You will not see that happen. So I'm gonna continue to uplift my sister. And y'all uplift us too. We love y'all. And this video is so long.
Okay, I'm gonna say that first and foremost, it's clear that I have a wildly different interpretation of what's taking place here. I'm seeing in the comment section a lot of people say, I feel like they are grifting via Christian ideology. Somebody else is saying, Destiny's saying she's trying to force her to be straight. I want to address this first statement. I mean, nobody does know what all this is, but these people tend to have a massive following. It's not given that these are people who be pulling junkie stunts. And I think that we do forget that religious indoctrination and ideology literally creates this. I mean, I don't know what y'all are talking about. People literally make the most profound decisions in their life based upon religious ideology, based upon, I mean, this is not like something rare. This is actually, I mean, this is the majority, for one. For two, I think they did do a great job at articulating this thing. People keep inserting, even in the comment section of the video, like, oh, trying to be straight to straight. They haven't even, she clarified in the commentary that this is not about pivoting to men. We're just focusing on breaking up because we believe that that's what God is telling us to do. It's not about, we're not even straight. She's saying, I'm still listening to her. I still want to fuck her. I still be having to cling to the cross. I'm still dealing in my attraction to, you know, my ex and to this lady, etc. They're neither one of them are even dating. So I don't think any of that is going on. I do think something is happening. Something has happened. And I think that they are sincerely navigating whatever this anomaly is in their life. I do want to say, though, that I think what I do think, though, is going on is I think that a baby hair is using Bootsy as an emotional crutch. And I do think that there is some selfishness in the way that baby hair is navigating this. It's very clear to me that she does not want to let Bootsy out of her sight because there is an emotional resource and equity there that she is digging into while she navigates something very complicated for herself, and she doesn't really want to go down that road by herself. But it's also very obvious that Bootsy is not happy, and Bootsy needs space, and Bootsy needs a non-biased space to deal with all this in, and it's not healthy for Bootsy to be going from the dramatics of being in almost a decade-long relationship to then trying to be friends and then just not having any space to not have to look at this and see this and to process this shit. And unfortunately, Boosie doesn't love her enough to suffer in silence to give her what she wants. And probably in some part too, this is scary. She don't want to in some part probably be away from her emotional resource and baby hairs because they've been together for so long. They've been a teammate for so long. They've been comforting and partnering for so long that, you know, she knows what's here. But if I was baby hairs, I would love, if you really love her, my advice to you, if you come across this content in this video, because I don't want to really shit on the spiritual part, because I know how complicated shit can be for LGBT people navigating this society and all of these fucking beliefs and ideas about sexuality and whatever. But if you love Bootsy, I feel like true love would let her go, even if that would hurt you. That you can see that Boosie is practically saying, I'm not happy. This is difficult. This is annoying as fuck. I'm not doing well. And if you love her, you can't keep projecting your desire to have y'all stick through this together because that's what y'all said. Giving her space and letting her go doesn't mean that y'all won't have a relationship, but having a relationship like this and still living together and cohabitating, that's showing the person you love, babes, and you need to get over yourself in order to really love her and let her go do what she gotta do. And if this is really between you and God, let it be between you and God then, because this is not about you and God. This is about you and God. So if that's really the case, let it be between you and God, and give and affirm her and give her permission to know that while I do not want us to separate because I love you, period, I want you to know that if you need to move out of this house and you need some space from our friendship, I respect that. And if you've been wondering or figuring out and you've been secretly desiring some space, but you thought that you would hurt my feelings and you considering me, I just want you to know I support you in whatever that looks like. And if that's moving out or whatever, fine. But that's really all that I have to say. And going back to the topic of the discussion, gay conversion. There are still gays in 2026, as we can see, who are trying to not be gay anymore, who are trying not to be bisexual anymore, who are trying not to, in whatever capacity they are attracted to the same sex, are navigating that in 2026. But Arumas, you've been very quiet. Thoughts?
Yeah, so back to the original question. He just gave us a segue back to it. So yeah, to the question, do I think anyone can be delivered, quote unquote, converted, reformed from their orientation practices, right? Or sexuality? I still stand on what I said in the last live. I don't believe you can. As she just so basically let us know, she still has all of the thoughts. And per the you know, for the Christians, those that subscribe to Christianity, you know that one of the teachings is what you thinketh is what you soweth and what you become. So even if you don't, regardless if you physically put it into practice, even your thoughts, it's in your heart. Those thoughts are in your heart. And so you're thinking it anyway. So what is the point and the purpose, according to their doctrine? What is the point and purpose of calling yourself reforming when the thoughts are still there? But now I don't frown upon any of it altogether. It's just the logic behind their own teachings that I question for people that like to push the whole Christian aspect of it. But I still stand on what I was saying about old girl. Sam, little hoodie, isn't happy. Little hoodie wants to get away. And I agree with you. I do feel like I don't know if little hoodie's staying around because of the baby. You know, the child they have, it ain't a baby no more, I'm assuming. But the child that's in the picture, having an attachment to the home.
I said, I don't even know if there is a child. I know I heard what's found to be a baby in one of our videos. It might not even be a baby, it might be a dog. I don't
So, you know what I'm saying? That may be part one of the reasons why. Excuse me?
The deed on the house. They bought a house together.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm saying, I was going to say, you know, there can be multiple reasons. I do think that it is quite selfish. You know, even if they agreed to it, I think at some point when you see,
the obvious.
Yeah, when you see it's right there. It's right in everybody's face. And I know it has to be in her face. And then to like the stuff she was saying, you know, sometimes she be wanting to do a little, sometimes she want to cuddle, sometimes, and she has to tell her no or whatever. You, if you're going to do something, and I get it, because nobody does anything, and I'm tired of even making those statements. You know, nobody does anything perfect. Mistakes are going to be there, hiccups, whatever you want to call it. Cool, but the intent, if your intentions are pure and genuine, I don't see this in this dynamic. But if that was the case, why do you still have her there? Because your walk and her walk are not exclusive. They're two individual journeys. And as she stated, she's progressing faster than Sam. So because you're progressing faster than Sam, why torment Sam? Because it is clear to me looking at this. I've been just being quiet, and even when you had the video on pause, I've been downloading so much. It is very clear to me. Sam loves her. Sam ain't saying but so much, but Sam's body language, her aura says, I love Baby Hairs. And Baby Hairs knows this. Baby Hair knows the sacrifices Sam made. I'm not saying it was one-sided, but Baby Hairs knows this. And unfortunately, I do feel like Sam got caught up in, which is not unheard of. We know these things happen. When people are searching, soul searching and looking for answers, when you're lost and disconnected, more than likely because they're, you know, in the community, you look. It is very easy to take advantage of the loss for people that are searching and seeking to. So to go back to what you were saying, Conscious, earlier about having proper teachers, even though you don't know, even if they're teaching you something, you don't know what the agenda is behind what they're teaching you. But just having proper teachers in your life, and also self-teaching, because you can't rely on others to be the ones that gives you the knowledge and fulfillment. You can go to have dialogue, get a little information, but it's important that you do your own research on anything. I don't give a damn if it's to go buy a bag of chips. You do your own research, in addition to what others provide, the information others provide for you. But this, for me, Conscious real talk, it is so deep because I've seen this time and time again. Not just it ain't about the orientation and sexuality. I'm just saying religion, period. I've seen a lot of people get sucked into the whirlpool of a dogmatic, hypocritical religion. And people don't know. There are people that do want the answers, but they don't know any better. Because it's an inherited, we inherit information before we decide to go out and discover and learn on our own. So this is kind of really heartbreaking to me, because I hate to see people literally stifle themselves. She said she's looking for love, and she has no idea that God had already provided love for her for 10 years, right? 10 years. God provided you with a mate. And because you weren't aware, somebody put something on you possibly, or whatever her intentions are, you refuse to accept the blessing that was given to you, that you say you wanted, love, and you had it, and you threw it the fuck away, or because somebody told you without you researching, somebody told you are basically destined for hell. This is wrong.
But what do you think of rumors about the fact that in their story,
She's fine, because that is
isn't about
I get it.
fame?
Yes.
Okay, we can hear you a little bit. But I need you to listen
I
because
thought
you're living
I thought I would have muted myself, child. I didn't know. I mean,
but I am going to get you. But I am going to get you in here. But I wanted to ask.
Okay.
I wanted to ask rumors about that. But because I feel like I'm the only one who's like actually listening and taking it at surface glance. Like, what do y'all? He's saying that this isn't about somebody telling me anything. I've been living my life as a grown-ass woman with somebody that I love, and before she got together, my relationship was to Jesus, not so much to the church or to the Bible, and I just made Jesus synonymous to love, which is why I never saw a problem with my lesbian relationship, because I'm just like, what the problem is, like, love is love. I ain't going to hell. And so she went on by her life, and then they moved to Texas, and they still wasn't being pressured to be straight. Like, the church was affirming, everybody was encouraging. She said her pastor even told her, it's not my job to tell y'all what to do. Just let
So,
God.
Conscious, you didn't hear her say that the pastor was in the pulpit preaching against homosexuality?
No, I didn't hear that.
She said that in the beginning when she
problem.
She legitimately said that. She said
I did. Yeah, I did hear her mention that, but the way she mentioned it, it was like, I mean, I would expect that, because that's why I was
She
like,
said it so light.
If this ain't a affirming church per se, I'm sure they're not going to skip over the gay verses or whatever just because.
No, but not to cut you off, Conscious, but that's what I said. That's what I was saying the last time I was speaking. I said
her. It's in her. It's in how much she gave equity to it that really matters. She acknowledged, my church, like, they didn't avoid teaching on it. However, my church also was not enforcing anything. Like, they wasn't enforcing anything. We never felt the shame. We never felt unloved. They were doing what they had to do, to teach whatever they had to teach. But that was that. Like, it wasn't like there was some big conspiracy and agenda and we were being pressured. And I really felt like, and she literally it kept saying, everything is going good. I just started all of a sudden out of nowhere, just feeling like we were going to break up. I was just picking up on different things. I don't know what the fuck was going on with me. I'm like, okay, maybe it's hormones, whatever the case may be, and then it should hit me again. But she made it absolutely clear that there was no outside pressure to do this. That whatever this is coming from inside of her. It's not due to her family. It's not due to the culture. It's not due to
Conscious. Can I just say something right quick? In the beginning, you were saying that, I here's what dropped in my spirit. I ran the thing back, and then I came up to the current situation. What dropped in my spirit is the pastor. I think she referred to her as a she, did she not?
Mm-hmm.
I think whatever prayers are being prayed are coming from that pastor. You spoke about the spell that's been cast. And what also dropped in my spirit is that the pastor herself wants Miss whatever she got going on, Edges. That's what I think is going on.
Is that Auntie Jane?
Yeah, it is. Hey, girl.
Hey, baby.
For some reason, I can't comment on the live stream. I don't know why I can't do it. I get this subscriber situation. But anyway, what dropped in my spirit is that the person that has influenced her the most is the one that was calling at 3:00 in the morning. All right. Why would you do that?
Well, no,
because you won her.
That was happening. She was saying that was happening after they had broke up. So then the pastor, shepherd to support them.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I also remember, right. I also said, because this is a church. I don't know how big the church is, but I never assigned who was praying. I don't know. It could have.
I know you didn't.
Pastor,
no, you didn't. You did not. I'm saying what I felt inside listening to the whole conversation is that it is my thought that the pastor is the one that has encouraged this, and that in time, Miss Edges is going to find out who that lady pastor really is. Okay, I really feel like it's the pastor that wants to have a relationship with her, but you have to get the other friend, the partner out the way. They've been friends for what, 10 years and building? Yeah, that's what I feel is going on. I really do. And the lady with the hood on, you can see that the pain within her, the hurt within her is so deep. She can barely talk about it. And here comes Miss Edges wanting to talk about what her ex lover is feeling. She doesn't have a clue. She doesn't have a clue. Look at the expression on her face. Look at the one in the hoodie. Look at the expression on her face. When you hear her speak, she's very, very measured in what she's saying. This woman is hurt, and she cannot. She probably would go somewhere and scream at the top of her lungs. But I think Miss Edges is full of shit. I think she is running big time God game. And I think the pastor is going to ease up on that. You just wait. You just wait. Miss Pastor is going to come and lay hands and all of that there. You just wait and see.
Hold on, y'all.
I feel that too.
I cannot believe that y'all are like.
I knew it was gonna be something like
I know
that.
this is the pro. I know this is the liberal pro and everything, but I also cannot believe that y'all are just straight willing to demonize the shit out of baby hair just because she's having an experience that is leading to hurt. Because here is two things, right? I also want to hold a Boosie accountable. Boosie is a grown ass woman, just like Edges, and she equally, just like we're saying, baby hairs need to let her go. Boosie needs to 100% do what's in the best interest of herself as well. She's a grown ass woman. She's not 12 being toted around. So if she knows that she can't stand this and that this is hurting her and she needs to make another decision, she needs to be a grown-ass woman and she needs to come face-to-face with her fear and she needs to choose herself. Just like baby hairs, despite her loving their relationship and loving her, is choosing herself. So I'm not going to put all the responsibility on baby hairs here as if Hoodie is just some damsel in damn distress. She has just as much of a right to stand up for her peace of mind and to choose that regardless. Okay, second thing I want to pivot to is the fact that for me, this situation is interesting, right? Because the reason why I really don't give a damn about the so-called religious spiritual component of this is because I'm like, this is exactly why I would never single-handedly rely on any one human being, period, because people change their mind all the time and for non-religious reasons. People can just wake the fuck up and say, bitch, I don't want to do this. I don't love you no more. I'm not, you ain't doing it for me. It don't take no Bible, it don't take no church, it don't take no pastor for a motherfucker to wake up 10 years later or 30 years later, 7 kids in, to survive cancer, you got my liver in your damn body, the whole nine, and still will wish you well in whatever the hell you about to do, baby, because I'm gone. So to me, even beyond the religious thing, I'm like, oh, there's a bigger conversation here about codependency in general and about whatever the lines are between loving someone but also remaining in loving relationship to yourself and not putting all of your faith in external formality, because those things are very interchangeable. You can have worked 20 years on a job thinking you're going to retire, to made all these sacrifices and be given a motherfucking boot. You could have saved all this money, got your retirement in order, and then have your account fucking hacked and see your life savings gone overnight. Like, so many, extraordinary letdowns take place in life in general, and they can devastate people to a point of taking their own goddamn lives or taking somebody else's life or just driving them into a great depression, etc. But when I saw this video, I was like, girl, I got a man. But that's exactly why he'll never be the man in my life. But I value him, I love him, he loved me down boots. But I made a promise to myself that I'm never going to be unhealthily attached to anyone else in my life, and I have corrected my own self-practice to make sure that the part of me that is tempted to put my salvation in external things is something that I don't do. I think that all human beings have that aspect of themselves, which is why we have to develop disciplines and affirmations and have to stay on top of ourselves, because there is a part of us that's always willing to just let go and to be dumb and to be blind and to just rest in what seems easy and convenient. And then when those things change, you are in ruin. So, you know, the past years of my life have been about being able to have a lot of stuff, being able to have money, being able to have means, being able to have a relationship, being able to have all these things without these things having me. And because of shit just like this right here, the tides changed for whatever reason. It changed because of the church, changed because of the Bible, changed because the bitch just feel different today. Whatever the case may be. Like, I stay close to myself because that's my way of staying ready. So I ain't never got to get motherfucking ready when all this shit go to hell. Because some part of me leaves room for all this shit to go to hell, because these are all things outside of me. The love of my life is outside of me. I don't have no anatomical absolute control and power over someone else. I can't make someone love me. I don't get to determine how long they love me. I don't get to determine how deep they love me. I don't get to determine none of that shit. So I don't even play with human relationships like that anymore. Don't nobody in my life mean more to me than me. And I can let go of every last single. Matter of fact, I don't even have a social life right now. Ask my fucking friends when was the last time they heard from me. Some of my friends live in my motherfucking city right now, ain't saw me in 2 motherfucking years, because that's how made I got it at home in myself, being Alice in motherfucking Wonderland. I have truly like gone out of my way to make sure that there are no graven images and idols in my life, and that I can be fully 100% happy in my motherfucking self, without spending, without buying, without traveling, without seeing, without fucking, without any motherfucking thing. Because I'm not giving no bitch and no situation and no nigga and no scenario the opportunity to play with me again. It's just not happening. So when I saw this video, I was like, oh, girl, I know that heartbreak shit is crazy. And it is crazy because a little Boosie said, damn, it felt like the rug was snatched from under me. It felt like the cake was already made, and then somebody just put a fucking grenade on this motherfucker and shit just went kaboom. And that is devastating when you have rested in the variables outside of yourself, and you have just given your wits and your absolutes to those things, and then you fuck around and find out the very hard way. And I do think that there is something cosmic and universal about that. I think, like, for instance, when like believers like to say that God is jealous, because I've seen certain things in my own cycles of being and living, I interpret that as not per se jealous, but it does seem to be true that the universe does not like when you make idols out of things and stuff. It's not per se jealousy, but it's a form of being out of alignment. It's a form of deviating from your core self, where all things are well and whole, at that you don't actually need anything outside of yourself. I mean, we have the luxury of having other things, thank God. And we have things outside of ourselves that can mirror things within ourselves for a time being. But you have everything you need in you as you. This is literally what the principles of Buddhism is. It's about being in touch with the wholeness and the abundance that is emoting and vibrating within self. And that there's joy and happiness and peace there in you, in your very consciousness. Most people are out of touch with that because we live in a transactional world. We're taught that happiness is outside of ourselves. There are things and stuff and dreams that we are taught to project our joy into, okay, you got dreams, you need to go fulfill that, and you're not going to be happy till you go fulfill that. You got to earn this amount of money. You need to be married and have a family by this amount of time. You need to, that it's always happiness externalized, fulfillment externalized, satisfaction externalized. It's always put into something outside of yourself. So I'm not surprised that people are so generally out of fucking touch and have just accidentally given and made a god out of all this other shit outside of themselves, and then have to live in the depth of hurt and pain and mental and emotional agony when you find out that your soul salvation, that you can't afford to put your soul salvation in those things because they are subjected to other forces that you don't have no control over. And if people don't really get clear with this, people are going to continue to experience shit in life that has the potential to kill them spiritually, kill them emotionally, kill them from within, and then they're just walking around as a fucking shell of themselves, or on some goddamn mood stabilizer, or on some goddamn Prozac, or taking some goddamn anti-psychotic ass medication, or don't even want to live any motherfucking more. But it's people not understanding the role that they're playing and setting themselves up for that type of fucking failure, because people generally are operating from a sense of attaining happiness through other things and every other thing aside from their very self. This type of shit right here, I was like, my God, it would never be me. Never. I'm prepared to let my children go, my nieces go, baby. All y'all got freedom, girl. Live your motherfucking life. Don't worry about uncle. Don't worry about your brother. Don't worry about your man. Don't worry about your fiance, baby. Do you? Let the natural forces bring shit around and move around. I don't want for nothing outside of me. Nothing outside of me. And when anything start to show up that make me start being tempted to touch outside of myself, I have the self-awareness to check that, to bring that in and make sure where my core anchor is. Not that you can't be happy with stuff, because I'm also very happy with my material life. I'm happy that I have a community. I'm happy I have friends. I'm happy I got a nigga. I'm happy that I have means. I'm happy that I'm not wanting for anything. I'm happy that everything is being taken care of. But my happiness isn't the result of that shit. That shit is the result of my happiness.
Yeah.
That's the difference. For other people, they are waiting and going and seeking and going on these pilgrimage into the material world to find what is within. I'm gonna find that shit first in me, and then when that shit show up, I'm like, okay, yeah, like that's my shit right there showing up. Duh, like that's supposed to be, because that's a reflection of where the fuck I am internally. So I think that there's a larger conversation to be had about how we navigate relationships, how we navigate deep love for other people, and where you still exist at. I remember and I'm gonna shut up and let y'all just get in here. Jessica Simpson? Jessica Simpson got a song called I Belong to Me, and basically the concept of the song is like, I realized I don't have to give up me to be a part of you. And it was a song about like self-autonomy and about the necessity to stay connected to yourself no matter what else you share your life with. Even if you share your life with children and you make them a part of your life, or a partner or whatever, that you never lose you. You never lose you, no matter what. You never get out of sync with that. And when you find yourself getting far away from home, getting far away from yourself, you need to return back to source energy. And you've gotten into the danger zone. We live in a system that's not spiritual. We live in a system that has nothing to do with self-love. We live in a system that's rooted in egotism and appeasing the ego self. and always having to buy something and get something and assume something and accomplish something before you can have a sense of significant accomplishment, purpose, etc. And you don't have true rest. You don't have true rest because there is no rest outside of you. There's only work outside of you. Rest has to come from within. True solidarity is self-actualized. Nobody can give that to you. And when you put that in people's hands, you're liable to find yourself grossly and deeply disappointed. Now, I'm going to be quiet. Anybody want to get in here and continue to evaluate the situation, y'all can.
Now, I'm about to.
Listen, I'm not going to stay long because I'm in LA. It's early here, and I've been awake all night. I just want to say I have enjoyed the conversations. Again, I don't know why I'm unable to comment in your live streams, but I did want you to know that I've been listening.
I want to check and see. I said after I end this live, I'm gonna check and see if you're blocked. But it could be something on YouTube end, but I don't. Because you're not blocked on this end, but I'll check to make sure.
Oh, okay.
But Auntie Jace, didn't you say when you write it, say something about subscribe?
It gets a message. This is for subscribers only who have been subscribed for 2 hours more, and it's like, what?
You may be unsubscribed.
Yeah.
Auntie Jace, YouTube may have unsubscribed you. You may have to resubscribe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll try that then. But I want to say there's such joy. I still what I said. I think it's full of boo, and that the past is the one that was cast a spell or doing the witchcraft situation. I think that there is something going on with the past was feeling it very strongly. Yeah. I hope that they will ultimately, I think, yes, Miss Hoodie has a choice to move on, but after 10 years, I've been in a similar situation, and I know how hard it is after you've invested time and love.
I think she got disconnected. Aroma, I know you about to bow out too, so you can go ahead and give your
Yeah. So when it's all said and done, I still stand on. I don't believe that a person wholeheartedly can convert from, being gay. You can suppress and you don't have to practice, which is also, a form of suppression. But inherently, like, it's still in your heart. The thoughts are still there. And so, people make the choices to live their life how they choose to, which is our God-given right, all of us. And I do want to say to anyone that's a part of the community, no matter what your religious practices are, spiritual practices, please remove yourself under any teaching doctrines that crucify you just because of your quote unquote preferences to love whom you are attracted to. I don't care if the rhetoric is outward or inwardly, covertly put out there, but to me that is alarming. And I wish we, as people that are part of the communities, I wish as a collective in the whole, not just the gay community, all people, anytime you're sitting under quote unquote a religion that crucifies you and damn you intentionally in that way, you don't need to be under that. You should be questioning, is this for me? We have to stop doing that. That the gay community is infamous for sitting in spaces that is not welcoming. So I love you all. It's been very interesting.
Yes, thank you for hanging in there, child.
Good morning.
Yes, I love you too.
As I represent too.
So cool.
Anybody else? I want to jump in here and get some 411.
I definitely do.
All right. So, yes, definitely love yourself.
Hello?
Definitely stay true to yourself. Don't.
IG was trying to.
Oh wait. Oh, IG. I'm so sorry. I can't even hear IG.
And it's
Go ahead.
StreamYard. StreamYard got the audio all tore up.
He can go ahead and go first, and I'll come out and come back in.
Okay, he said that you can go first. He's gonna go out and come back in. So go ahead, Deshaun.
Okay. Yes. Love yourself. Don't let no one tell you anyone different. Don't let anyone tell you who you are. That's what people. That's what people always get messed up on, because the thing is, the ones that's trying to tell you who you are, knowing that you know who you are, is the one that don't know who they are. Because they want to, like, they want to bring their misery, even though they think that they're Christian, to bring it onto you, and that's not how it works like that. And also, for the girl that's doing that and trying to say, just like, the thing is, I want to pinpoint this. When she said, "Oh, I want to cuddle" and all the other stuff, you're trying to, for what I heard, you're trying to do this for God, and you saying you want to cuddle with her. You saying temptation, but you said that you want to stay true to God, so you won't do any lust, yet you want to. I don't know. It's like, it's kind of weird. It's like you should just leave. Like, that's what you need to do, if that's the case. But other than that, love yourself, stay strong, protect your spirit from other forces. And that's all I could say. It's really sad.
Yeah. But keep them in prayers. It's not the end of the world. People break up all the time. You know, that this can be a major setup for the both of them in terms of the next chapter. I think Deshaun audio is out. Okay, IG,
Can't hear nobody. Hello.
Yeah.
Exit
Can you
out.
hear me? Oh damn. So okay, IG can't hear. I don't know what the fuck is going on with StreamYard. StreamYard is crazy right now. Famed, are you there? I think you're on mute, my love. Fame the gentleman. Fame. If you can hear me. Your mic is muted. IG, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, all right. You're back. All right, you can sound off.
Okay, definitely. To my answer, I definitely stand 10 toes down. She is adjusting her orientation. Yes, she's making a public declaration. It's more important of what people think of her and what she says. It's more important, definitely, what other people think God wants for her. So, um, she definitely is being. She's doing the thing that turned me off about a lot of Christians when I was a Christian, right? Because you can see how gleeful and joyful she sounds. Like, her body language and her facial expressions are so much more gleeful than Lil Wayne's. You feel me? So it's kind of like if but I know that for some people when they do that, oh, I don't have to feel anything. When you get in that mode, when you think it's God and you think it's good, you don't really care about what other people feel and what they think. A lot of people do that. If I have the joy of the Lord, that's my strength. I don't need to worry about anything else. So it's really just kind of decent, insensitive to her friend, but she don't care because her regardless if it's sincere or it's a grift, it's something that'll be socially acceptable for her to disregard her ex-lover's feelings and sit up here and be gleeful for like that. She definitely have a reason to stay together because they have a financial 900,000 million subscribers. Even to Hoodie's point, to your point, Conscious, that could also be that too. It could be that check and it could be that deed. But still, that's still not, I don't think that's fair for a Hoodie to just be like, well, she did it for the reasons to be sincere. She never did this. If she, I don't think Hoodie would have bought a house with this girl if she thought that somehow next year down the line, because they said it, oh, well, right after we bought a house, these feelings start happening. And I want to sign off on one more thing. Jackie Hill Perry. So y'all talk about the spell work and the magic and all that shit. No, the influence of Jackie Hill Perry is severely problematic. she is definitely one of the paid mouthpieces for all of those things on the what's going on. She's the talking head for Christian nationalism. She's on the side with Purdue University. She's endorsing. She's doing infomercials. So when I heard her say that she started listening to Jackie Hill Perry helped her out a lot, if she was listening to Jackie Hill Perry, if she started, Jackie Hill Perry started to go viral over the last 4 years, especially the last 4, 6 years. She was the one who was the videos of the minister of them saying, you kids are telling the 8-year-old, you all deserve to die, right? But because Jesus, even the kid was like, whoa, that's a lot. So the influence of I do stand 10 tones down. It is you can say it's spiritual, and I get that's the interpretation. But yes, she's reading into the political, social, economic climate, and she's being influenced by that, and that has more to do with her gain and the best grift that you can gain anything from is the Jesus and the Christian gain. But no way that if I love somebody, that if I tell them, hey, you don't have a choice, even like to your point, conscious, none of those dudes have a choice that you said when you're done, you were done. So this girl didn't have a choice when this girl said she was done with her. And now that she can't help that
Yeah,
she
I don't
loves
think,
this girl.
and to be honest, I don't think that she should have had a choice. When somebody is done, I mean, who are you
Yeah.
to force somebody to be with you? I mean, like, what are you going to do with that other than be like, okay,
That's right.
I mean, you have a right to be done. I mean, you don't have an
Yeah.
obligation, and if you're not going to be true to it, I don't want, as painful as it is, I don't want you holding on to me if that's not what you want to do. Let me go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the girl's holding on. It's like she's stringing her along for the benefit of having her along for the other things that they're going on because she knows that that girl will do anything for you and any way that it can benefit you. And you can tell yourself that you're string,
Yes.
that manipulating stuff. Oh, I'm doing the Christian thing and I'm cheering her
Mm-hmm.
along, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what people are going to reaffirm for her as. So that's why I mean I just sound off a little bit, but that's why I be standing 10 toes when I be like your God is made up. Man made this shit up. It has
That's
all of
right.
the reasonability. You'll be like, well, why is it this unreasonable? Or why are the scriptures? Because a fucking nigga is unreasonable. You talk about men and scholars and rulers of certain positions, just like the politics and politicians and leaders today. Do you think all of the leaders and all of the reasonability are going to somehow show up in texts that are supposed to be meant for institutionalism? No. No. So with that being said, I love you, brother. I do appreciate you. But this was sad, disgusting for me at the same time.
Yeah.
As long as she got Jesus on her team, who gives a fuck? As long as she got the morale code of what everybody says, and people are gonna affirm this for her. She's saying it's the spirit. Fuck all that. It ain't no spirit. It's the society around you that's telling you that reaffirm that this frame of thought has only been instituted over the last 1,600 years. I love y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all have a great day.
Good night, IG, or good morning. My phone keeps dropping, kicking me off the line.
Yard. Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to say again, it was wonderful to see all of the lovely conscious crew. I'll
Yes.
unsubscribe and see if I should resubscribe to see if that'll help me be able
Yeah,
to
I
get
be
in
having
the.
my subscriber only on TJ's.
Yeah, that's what
So
it
yeah,
says.
it's gonna allow you to
This subscribers only. Yeah.
comment if you're not subscribed entirely. So yeah, YouTube. So as soon as you hang up here, check your subscription to see if you're still subscribed. If you're not, then that's why you can't.
Oh no, I'm still subscribed. I checked, and I was wondering what, and I have the bell on to get all the notifications.
Yeah.
And so I don't know it. I don't
weird.
know. Shoot.
Okay, well, I'm gonna check on my end. Then maybe a moderator accidentally block you. That does happen occasionally. Somebody might get accidentally blocked. So I'll check on my end to make sure
Okay.
that you're not blocked and everything. And yeah, everything should be fine. And I'm always dropping the link. So if it continue to act up, then just hit the link on any show and tell me that you still can't comment.
Okay. Thank you. And I just want to say one last
Yeah.
thing to you, my darling. and the Conscious crew. I'm going to be dropping you some money now that I know how to do through PayPal. But I'm going to have I'm having a 6-hour procedure done on my back on August 14th. I thought I was just having a bad, just some back pain. It's much, much, much more serious. So I'll probably be on more often because I'll be in the hospital for about 4 days, and then after that I have to go to a rehab facility. But I wanted you to know that I've appreciated what you've been doing. You've been the Nolan Wells coverage, the whole bonnet and do rag. I mean, you've been doing some great work. You've been working, okay? So Auntie is going to take care of you. I just have to get a few things straight because Miss LA thinks she's tough. She's a tough girl. But I've been here before, so I'm an OG to this city.
Yes.
So
well, we sending light love to that surgery, and when you go in the hospital, I'm going to make sure that I'm active as hell for them days that you're going to be there. I'm going to keep Auntie well entertained and engaged.
Please do.
Yes.
Because you're all of that.
I appreciate that, Auntie.
All right. Well, you get some rest.
I will. Thank you so much, Bags. That's Auntie Jace, y'all. We got Chi-Town Ronnie in the building. Chi-Town Ronnie.
Grand Rising, Conscious, Grand Rising. And baby, sending big love from the city of Chicago. And to Auntie, may healing and restoration be yours, my dear. May healing and restoration be yours. And I really don't have much to add to what Auntie has been saying because Conscious, in between working my 2 jobs, I have you in the background whenever you're on. And sweetheart, you have no idea how many times you just get people together. You just pull us through. So on our behalf, baby, on behalf of a grateful audience, thank you ever so much. I just want to drop something real fast. And this is not to insult your audience, but this is just to pass on information that they may not know. All of these things that are quote unquote being done in the name of God. Yeah. I really wish that people would take more time to know the origins of where their word came from, especially the Bible, especially if you listen to the King James Version. If anybody knew who King James was, they would question what was really coming down. Baby, King James let his own mother be beheaded by Queen Elizabeth because he knew that while she was out of the picture, he could rise in power and in prominence. This is the person who then went to the church and had portions of the Bible rewritten to fit his political narrative. And when all was said and done, King James enjoyed the company of gentlemen. Indeed. But yet he was the one that made sure that Leviticus was prominent up and through that book. And for this woman to say, yeah, we're breaking up in the name of Jesus. No, you abducting your personal responsibility. You abducting yourself from the responsibility of a relationship, and you played with someone else's feelings. And sweetheart, I don't see God in any of that. I don't see God in none of that. And when you want to abandon your own personal responsibilities in the name of Jesus, darling, that's lazy work. That's lazy work. That's you being ignorant in the name of Jesus. So, I don't have much to add to that, but, we really, as people, we really need to understand who we are being involved with, who we're getting involved with, because loneliness has caused a lot of people more heartbreak than just being by themselves.
Absolutely.
That's it. But with that being said, darling, thank you. And again, thank you so much for being a beacon and for just being a clarion. You say what you say, you say it clear, and baby, the message is received.
Thank you so much, babes.
You stay blessed, love.
Hey, you too, boo. That was Chi-Town Ronnie. And I agree that this is what I was saying early on in the commentary. Like, education leads to clarification, and it's not enough, especially when you're talking about ideology and religion. You can't accept that stuff at face value. You can't just crack the Bible open and then just start trying to apply shit. That stuff has an origin. It has a historical context. It has a word context. The Bible was not written in damn English. These are translations. The Bible is a work. I mean, that's why there are verses that literally say, study and show thyself approved. Please literally apply that to anything and everything, especially things concerning your mind, especially concerning things that are going to shape your mind. Even if you are curious and you're interested and you think something may work for you, that's cool. It may or may not work for you, but always do your Carfax and do your homework and understand who and what and where, because that may derail or redirect your attention or inform you in a different way that will lead to another decision that's made. And you do that across the board. Just like we vet people, you vet ideology, you vet the Bible, you vet ideological systems, you vet them. You just don't accept shit because your family been practicing it for 1,000 years, or because it's the national religion, or because this is what the majority of people do and what the majority of people believe. Those are all the wrong reasons to just start blindly being led and blindly applying things to your life. You need to be far more protective and integral about your mind and what you take into it, because that shapes what the fuck comes out of it. Everything reverbs in consciousness. So, you know, as even Yahshua says, honeys, what goes in must come out. Fame the Great was trying to hit the link. Fame, if you can hear me, I'm waiting on you. I'm gonna drop the link again. I think you wanted to provide some more feedback as it relates to baby hairs here. I'm on the contrary. I don't see baby hairs as, you know, as a villain per se. I actually feel really sorry for her. She reminds me of every other So here's the thing that's unique, right? And I didn't think about this until now, because I'm kind of just accepting what she's saying. I'm really not trying to put a lot of, I'm not trying to really interpret it. I'm just kind of accepting what she's giving at face value. What's interesting is, for all we know, baby, I mean, she gonna call it God, because that's kind of everybody's general word for spirit or their intuition or their higher self or whatever the hell. For all we know, her intuition is telling her, has told her to break up with somebody that she may need to break up with for whatever reason. But because that's also happening within the framework of religion, then there's kind of all this like condemnation attached to it. It's about being gay instead of it more so being not about, well, I'll take what I just said then back, because see, her focus is on not being gay. I was going to say that if her spirit just told her to let this relationship go, that's a whole different conversation. But the relationship is being let go of because of being gay. And that is very unfortunate, because she doesn't even know that within the book of her faith that there is no condemnation of LGBT people. And if she would do the lead work and would do the research, like I've been saying from the beginning, if you're going to choose this book, that's cool. If you're going to choose Christianity, that's cool. But you want to do your homework so you don't find yourself doing the unnecessary, so that you don't find yourself being counterproductive and counterintuitive. I too, because Christianity was a popular, nationally accepted. I come from, a family that practices Christianity and tied and close to the church. most of us inherited Christianity. And I struggled about things that I didn't even have to struggle about because I just took everything at surface glance. Your eyes will deceive you. You cannot get into this text and just be surface. You can't do that. There's shit that is being applied literally that's not even literal. You cannot do that. You have to do your research and you have to unpack, and there are libraries filled with word concordances. There is whole histories. There's whole think pieces. There's whole everything that exists. The beautiful thing about modern day society is that we're living in the information age. We're living in the golden age. You can be well informed and enlightened right from your living room in the palm of your hand from your own cell phone. Anybody studying anything, make sure that you study, and not just study at surface level, but that you study the source and the origins of things. Because Christianity has a political reality, a historical reality, a vocabulary reality, an astrotheological reality, a philosophy reality. The Bible isn't even a cohesive book. It was stitched together by councils. It was stitched together by people who decided to take the most popular books of their heyday, the most popular stories of their heyday, and stitch the Bible together. It was never even designed to be a cohesive book. It's individual stories and compilations that were compiled together and politicized, and once again, not even written for you or for your time or in your language or about you. There are things that are specific to spiritual sex, to Leviticus laws, to Leviticus priests, and you have modern day Americans twirling in application of things not even meant for them because you don't know what you're reading and you don't know what the fuck is going on. Do your homework, please. And let me see what else about baby hairs. But baby hairs, I'm sending you like in love, girl, because see, that's a whole situation. And if you continue to yield to the best of your ability and be as true as you can to yourself, for better or for worse, everything will work itself out. Whatever this is, whatever this means, whatever role it plays, best thing I can do is encourage you to continue to yield to yourself. You've made a very, very important decision that affects someone else. I don't think you came to that conclusion easy. I don't think you came to that conclusion overnight. You were in an almost 10-year relationship. I know I can see that it's hard for you as well. You have tears rolling down your own face throughout this entire video. And I just hope that and pray that you continue to be well. But tell Sammy that it is okay for her to go if she needs to go. And let her know that you love her. And let her know that you won't be mad at her if she needs to go. She may just need to hear that. And Sam, if you hear this video, you don't need permission from her to go. If you need to go, go. Just like she brought herself to make a decision for the both of y'all, you also are allowed to make decisions for the both of y'all. She broke off the relationship. You get to break up the living arrangement if that's what will suit for you better. So everybody just needs to continue to be true to themselves in this situation. Sam, do what you got to do for you. Baby hairs, do what you got to do for you. If y'all are being sincere, all this will work out. People go through shit. Shit happens. Nobody can keep it together all the time. Life is strange. Life is random. Life is complicated. But if you're being sincere, all things will work out for your good on both parts. So I wish y'all well. I gotta go. Bye.